Oh, by the way, Blake, we will have The Machine on Blu-ray after next week.
Christian Bale?
No, The Machine with that's The Machinist. The Machine with Burt Kreischer and Mark Hamill.
Oh, I saw that. I didn't see it, but I saw the previews for that.
Talking about Marcus Hamill?
Yes, Marcus Hamill.
Marcus Hamill.
I know him.
I think he's got something with your guys' universe or something.
Yeah.
Maybe he voiced something in it.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I don't know.
I think Alex knows him.
When he buys cocaine, he goes by Marcus.
My name's Marcus Hamill. What's the deal? Hello, you beautiful nerds. I'm Jedi Master Grayson.
And I'm your country cousin's favorite cousin, Bill.
And welcome to
Does
it
hold? Flawless as always. I love how you always go longer than everybody else.
I went long?
Yeah. Yeah, I know you don't know this because you're just like you're enraptured with the cinema spirit.
I go longer than everybody.
This is the show where we revisit classic genre films to see if they're as good or as.
Sorry, I hate it. It's not switching.
I think it's just because we have so many people.
Make sure.
So many people.
Yeah.
Because I haven't changed any of the settings.
I see Blake now.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, I see y'all.
It's highlighting the.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
We're good.
We're good.
Can we keep all this in?
Yes.
It all depends on how long it goes. So,
And it depends on how lazy I am when I'm editing this.
all
later.
these things are factored.
I was like, fuck it. I'm keeping it all in. Here's the raw cut.
But
Does It Hold Up is our show.
This is our show. And it's the show where we revisit classic genre films to see if they are as good or as bad as we remember. And we may get drunk while we do it.
Mostly.
Who is to say?
Who is to say? But
as always, we have a
special guest.
special guest.
We can't do it alone.
Yeah, we can't.
What he meant to say.
That's what I meant to say. Sorry, I'm I'm thrown off. We are joined as always by special guests to help us determine if this film stands the test of time. And today we have three special guests. It's the Non-Nerd Yards crew all up in the building.
Yeah, that's
friends
right.
of the show. Introducing first, we got the hilarious Jeff. Welcome back, Jeff.
Hello. I'm very excited to get back in and talk about this one. A ridiculous movie that spawned a ridiculous franchise, and I have thoughts.
That's right.
Oh yeah, this is
right.
This is an interesting one.
That's right. What this movie became is everything Spawn wanted to become.
Ooh, oh man, hot take.
Hot take. I only use that because he said spawned.
And he said it very poorly. I don't know what a spawn is.
Spawn. A spawn?
That's a Boston spawn.
That's Eastern.
like Espanol? Is that what we're doing?
Espanol.
Dexter, you know I don't speak Spanish.
It's just like in Detroit, we say Dow. We say Dow in the Midwest, just like instead of doll. We say Dow.
Bobby Dow.
Yeah.
Speaking of Spawn, we got Jeff and the other half of our guests that were on the Spawn episode of Does It Hold Up?
That's right.
The host of the Unfiltered Bachelor podcast,
Right.
moneyblakeweather in the building. How's it going?
That's
right.
It's your favorite Mexican's favorite cousin's favorite Mexican. That's what I'm saying, man. What's happening, everybody? I am so excited to do this. I feel like I say this every time I come on. I'm like, I have very fond memories of this movie, and I do have very fond memories of this. I remember where I was when I rented this movie for the first time. So I was in my room.
Awesome.
I watched it.
Now I'm gonna fucking make a video compilation of you saying,
Oh my God, please.
I really enjoyed this movie, but
I have very fond memories.
What if that video compilation, most views you got?
Oh man,
I go
I'm
viral off that.
I'm sure it will be. Like the least work gets the most amount of views as it turns out.
Least work I ever did was that Holy Man video.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's doing really well.
Got
Got like 5 new subscribers.
ridiculous.
But they're going to be really disappointed later when we don't talk about Holy Man every episode. But last but not least, we have the titular figure of the 9 Nerd Yards YouTube channel.
Titular.
9, what is going on? Welcome back.
Oh, thank you very much for having me. Glad to be back. It's been a while. Can't even remember. I think it was Double Dragons the last time I was on. But I figured that this is going to be a fitting one for this October.
Yes, this
Which is right around the corner.
It is right around the corner.
We're in it. We're on the corner.
We're in it
and on it. I'm gonna be Hobie for Halloween, and
it's gonna be a fun.
I'm also going to be a member of the Hop Way. If you're watching Warrior, or if you have watched Warrior, check it out.
It should be Miles. You got to work out though, or else it's gonna look sad in that suit.
What if you do, or if you don't want to work out, you could be the Peter B. Parker version of Miles.
All right, and I can just have
sweatpants
and then just like a baby doll.
You have to be eating a burger the entire time. Yeah.
You could gain weight and just be Peter Parker. Look at that.
Yeah. I love props that I can eat. Yeah, I like it. I'm very for that idea.
So does Brad Pitt.
Just always mention.
He has to maintain those calories for working out all those abs.
Okay. I wonder if like when he's about to do a scene, like the director's explaining everything, he's like, yeah, but what am I eating though?
Yeah. What's my motivation?
I need to get into character.
Right.
Is he more of a pretzels guy? Is he more of a chip guy? Does he do peanuts? I need to get in the head of my guy. Right
I need a scene of Brad Pitt with bugles with all of them on his fingertips, just kind of like munching them up.
I'm sure that
these pretzels are making me thirsty.
In case you haven't guessed from our conversation, we're not talking about a Brad Pitt movie today.
Why don't you tell
wait. I'm leaving. I thought this was a Brad Pitt.
No, that's the Little Dicky episode. You can check that out on Nerd Yard.
Nice segue.
Tell me what we're breaking down, and maybe I'll stay. I don't know.
Well, today, I'm glad you asked. Today we are talking about the 2000 sci-fi cult classic, Pitch Black.
Y2K didn't happen, so we got this.
I'll stay. I like this movie. I'll stick around.
I'm glad you decided to stay, Blake, because I wanted to ask you what was your since you mentioned it up top, what was your first?
I'm gonna hate this.
What did you think of this movie the first time you watched it?
So I remember watching it as soon as it came out on digital video disc or digital versatile disc, whatever the kids are calling it. DVDs.
Digital video disc.
Oh yes.
I think the kids still using them. I don't really know, but I remember
I seen them in the library yesterday.
Right? Yeah, they still exist somewhere in some relic of a museum. But I remember renting this from Blockbuster, and then I remember being a tad confused when I first started it for a couple of reasons until I got about midway through, and I'm like, oh, I know what's going on now.
It's Pitch Black,
right? Yeah, I was like, now I can understand like what we mean, like, but I had no idea. I think I'd seen a preview, and like there's a few cool shots, but I really didn't know what I was getting myself into. But that's my fondest. That's my earliest memory with this movie. And then shortly after, I ended up buying it on VHS because I had a huge VHS collection, as I've mentioned on this podcast.
Where's that VHS collection now?
Bro, this is sad. Do we want to get? It's a sad story.
What's the name of the landfill?
No, I don't even think it's in a landfill. It got lost in storage. So, yeah, we can get into that story at a different time.
So, are we gonna start breaking down Storage Wars so we can re-find it?
I hope so. My baby pictures will be there too. So maybe whoever has my video has my baby pictures. But yeah, that's my earliest memory, and I remember being like, I like me, Vin Diesel. I don't know, like if he'll do anything else after this, but I think he's got a good career in Hollywood. I should have placed a bet on myself because I would have won.
Yeah, right.
Hey, you would
But
have
this
been
kid's
on
got
point,
something.
man. You would have been
Well, I
on
like
point.
this kid. Yeah, he's got that,
Yeah.
he's got that hood spot,
Something about those goggles are really
Nine,
really vibing with me.
I gotta ask you, since you are the only one that I think you're the youngest on the panel, probably.
Yeah.
So
So actually my journey with this is a bit different. Like I remember going through high school and getting like really deep into sci-fi, and it was Alien. I watched like the Alien movies, and then I was like, I want like some more, right?
Yeah.
And I heard about this, and I watched this, and I was like, oh, it is kind of like Alien. It almost felt like they were trying to remake Alien a little bit. We could definitely go into that with the plot one later on, but yeah. So that was like back in like 2010. So that was the only time I've ever watched it, and I'm realizing now that like it's a lot more it's a lot slower than I remember it being,
Yeah.
but then also thematically a lot denser than I remember it being also.
yes,
Yeah.
I agree. We're definitely going to talk more about the Alien stuff, or how it relates back to Alien. But
Yeah.
Because it does.
it does. It does.
Like almost feels like off, like not even like this, not even off brand, but just like an offshoot version.
Well,
like,
there's a lot of story
same
behind that
universe.
too,
Mhm.
as far as concerning Alien. But Jeff, where were you, and how did you feel when you saw it for the first time?
Okay, so first off, Nine, oh wait, no, I'm sorry. When you were in high school, you were going back and watching movies. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I was a freshman in high school when this movie came out,
Oh, right.
Oh.
and I am the oldest one on the podcast.
We get it,
And,
you're old.
So we
and
got
then-
it like, yeah, we were in the
Wait a
same
minute.
stages of our
Wait a
life
minute.
when
Hold
we
I think I was a freshman in high school when this came out.
Yeah, I was in 8th grade.
Yeah, I was a freshman in high school when this came out.
Okay, all right.
I was in 6th grade.
So, yeah.
9 wasn't even born yet, but
We'll let-
I was in 6th grade.
We'll let
But-
the people do the
that
math.
was
and the comments.
it's 2000, right?
yeah,
Right,
it came
yeah.
out 2000,
When 2000,
February
yeah,
2000.
Yeah.
I was
Freshman,
I was
baby.
I was
Freshman.
6.
So I remember watching this and being like, man, I love that guy from Dazed and Confused who's eventually going to be on a cowboy show. He's the best part of this fucking movie, And I'm sure everyone else thought the same thing.
Uh-huh.
Definitely, right?
Absolutely.
So no, I have a lot of the same thoughts as Nine, although I didn't remember them until every single time I rewatched this movie.
Yeah.
Every time I rewatch this movie, I'm like, this is such a slow moving movie until it picks up in the last 30 minutes. But
Mhm.
but
Well,
whenever I think back on it, I'm like, you know what, that was a fun movie. And then I rewatch it and I'm like, you know what, maybe my memory's not the best.
I don't think anybody's
Oh,
gonna agree
okay.
with you. Yeah, I don't think
yeah,
anybody's agree with you.
I was gonna say like it's slow. I was gonna say like for the first like 30 minutes.
40 minutes,
30,
yeah.
30, 40 minutes, and then it starts like they start getting into the zone, like the team kind of like gathers up. We already know the
Outside?
mission. It's kind of like a really weird, because it's a very straightforward plot actually.
Right.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so it almost doesn't lend itself well
See-
to like a 2-hour plus runtime.
So that's the
Right,
thing.
yeah. Yes.
You
Well,
think that. Go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. We'll get into the pacing in a little bit once we get into
Yeah,
the
yeah.
nitty gritty of the movie.
Because that is definitely a part of the criteria of does it hold up?
But we gotta ask Uncle Cousin Baby Billy over here what his feeling was the first time that he
Hold
saw.
on now. I'm gonna tell you what I feel now. What
I'll
I
tell
feel,
you what.
what I felt. What I felt. Not what I feel. What I
Okay,
feel is
yeah.
kind of high. What I felt when I first saw this movie, backstory, we're big time movie goers, and we were big time movie goers as children. We went to see this movie. not knowing what it was. That's what we did back in the day. It's kind of still what we do now. Yeah. We just go to movies even though we don't know what the hell it is. And there wasn't a lot of hoopla for this movie when it came out, but it blew our minds. We were like, yo, what is this? Who is this dude?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, who is this dude? Vin Diesel? What is that? Is that Spanish? Latin? What is
He's
that?
South American, yeah.
Is he South American? Is he Guatemalan?
Yeah, Vin Diesel actually made a short film about how ambiguous his race is.
I just watched like little synopsis of that. It's really interesting knowing that, because he was having a hard time getting roles because of that. He wasn't black enough to play like a stereotypical black guy, and he wasn't light enough to play like a more leading man role in different Hollywood projects.
And it turns out he should have just been playing family.
You guys know what saved his entire career?
What's that?
Alopecia. Like fucking male pattern baldness, nigga. That's what saved him, because if he hadn't grabbed this bald spot back here, he would have never shaved his head, and then he would have never been white enough, or he would have never been like
unique enough looking.
Yeah, he had a big fro. You can pull it up on YouTube. He
had some hair. Yeah,
he had a big fro. See, Vin Diesel used to be a breakdancer.
Oh my God. I love everything about that. But I'm going to agree with you. He could not pull off a George Costanza.
There you go. You see that? He's too muscular to be George Costanza. Like George
Costanza's got to be dumpy.
If The Rock still had his hair, you would be seeing some crazy male pattern baldness. It just like see a man like that jacked up just with his head.
Funny enough, we actually see him embrace his baldness in this movie in the weirdest like sub scene ever.
Yes. Actually,
with the black goo.
Yes, with the oil from the
oil goo. Yeah.
You know what? That was pretty gangsters. That was a pretty gangster scene. But before we get to that scene, and before we go into this movie too hard, we gotta pull up.
Play this.
That's Vin.
Leg kick. Kick out the right and cross the left. Remove the left leg and replace.
Further audio.
Yeah.
Bring your right leg under and your right arm over.
I'm gonna stop for just a second and get to a more interesting part. But yeah, that's
I was learning.
I was learning. An instructor too.
Yeah.
I can't wait to start breakdancing. Now I've got instructions.
That was an instruction video that he participated in. You know, like remember back in the day they used to do Reebok videos, like where you did like aerobics videos and stuff. Like this is what that is, man. It was a good time in his. It was a bad time in his career.
Agree or disagree?
Now, you see this hair? This was what ended. This was what was making his career messed up. Because see, he was too.
Wait. I mean, wait a minute. He's got moves though.
Oh yeah. I said
he's got moves.
I didn't say he was trying to be a break dancer. I said he was a break dancer.
Yeah.
And I'll go check that out on your own time. We're not over here to promote his.
I just am now.
Vin Diesel over here.
I'm now thinking that he used those moves to beat the aliens on the Pitch Planet. Black Planet, like that's what he used. He's like, it was a dance. It was like a dance off, right? Him and the aliens. And
I found the blind spot.
That was the first part of his training, right there. That was the first part of his training.
It's funny how though, like how just like things change in just pop culture though, because he fucking looks like Devin Booker. Like that is like what every light skinned black kid looks like.
Right. That's what you're supposed to look like now.
But yeah. Getting into Pitch Black, this was kind of a cult sci-fi hit. It was one of those movies where like sci-fi nerds and cinephiles and horror nerds kind of found their way to it to make it a sleeper hit, but it wasn't like huge.
I didn't think that was like you just described us.
Yeah, that's all three of those quadrants. I mean,
I just thought
that's not how math works. There aren't three quadrants. Anyway,
you can do whatever you want to do. It's 2023. You can make whatever. You can be whoever you want to be. Apparently, so
be whoever you want to be. And this movie, because of that, this movie was kind of divisively received. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 59% critics rating. and a 77% audience score. Now, if you guys haven't
matches
seen,
up with IMDb.
yeah, my
I feel like
IMDb is, I think it's like
that's fair. I
7.5.
feel like that's fair across the board. Like if I had to rate it, like it would be between a 59 and a 77. Like
Do not blaspheme in here.
I'm not giving it a 100. You know what I mean? But like
Right.
I enjoy it, and like to be fair, of like whether it's effects or like maybe it could have been this way or that way. Like okay, 70. You get 70 is still a passing grade. Listen,
Yeah.
I know from personal
77,
experience.
you know what I'm saying? 77. That's when I'm like, yo, what you gonna do with them other 3 points?
Hey, 77's got me through high school.
Come up off those 3 points.
Yeah, come on, man. Go ahead and
Take
give me them
it.
3.
Take it from a super duper senior. C's get degrees.
Dead ass C's get degrees, but I just want to know what you're gonna do with 3 points. Give me a 75. Just take 2 more points off if you're gonna.
How you gonna do me like that?
Come on, man.
Like a 75 would almost look a little better.
Right, yeah. You give me a 77, and then I'm like, come on, man. Come on. That don't even make good math. Come on.
Math ain't mathin'. The math ain't mathin'. Let's go.
Math ain't mathin'. I hate odd numbers.
If you haven't seen this movie, a quick
punch yourself in the face.
You can do that. But if you choose not to, or when you wake up, watch the rest of this video. This is a quick description of the story. A transport ship crashes and leaves its crew stranded on a desert planet inhabited by bloodthirsty creatures that come out during an eclipse. It's pretty simple concept.
Sci-fi Gilligan's Island. We get it.
I ain't gonna lie. This was listed as a horror movie. Would not have considered it a horror movie, but we're gonna call
it has horror elements. I would. I mean, is it a horror movie? I expected to find in the action, but it does have like horror, and it's sort of at one part like kind of like a thriller mystery, and you're like, wait, was it like that one point where like the dude dies and they're like, yo, it was him, and you're like, I'm like, no, it's not. But then like there's a point where I'm like, but was it? Like it could have been. I don't really know.
That's a question I wanted to put to the group, especially with it being October. What do you guys think? Do you think this is a horror movie?
Ooh.
Well, I didn't think it was a horror movie before, but that's what I was saying. So I brought it up. I do see where it is a horror movie at this point. You know what I mean? Like, you got the important part is the woman, the captain.
Yeah, the pilot. She's not a captain. She makes it perfectly clear.
Navigational.
Yeah, she a pilot.
She got promoted at the beginning of the movie when
Carolyn Fry.
When pellets go through her captain's chest while he's in cryogenesis. So
it's an unceremonious.
It's a non-ceremonious promotion, but she got a promotion, and we saw it happen. So technically, she's the captain.
Put it on the LinkedIn, motherfucker.
Update your resume, okay?
Add it to your skills.
Your ass the captain now. So I'm gonna take a pause.
All right. Okay. So Bill's calling it a horror movie. I'm gonna call it a horror movie. 100. I was gonna move on.
A horror movie. You gotta have that one lady who is like the
final lady.
Yeah, the final lady.
I was actually like, this is a final girl movie, but Vin Diesel's the final girl.
And you know what? 2023. Don't assume gender.
Don't assume.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, that's actually a plot point in this too.
Ahead of its
yeah, man.
Funny enough, ahead of its time. This movie was. Listen, let's. I'm gonna say this. If one of the criteria for having a horror movie is jump scare, bro, this is a good movie for have some jump scare. Like the scene where she comes out of the hive and she just like it almost and like it's pulled back, and I was just like, it still got me because I was like, I remember the scene and I remember she gets pulled back, but I don't remember what. Oh my god, they got me again. I'm never able to time it. It always gets me, and like I think it's a perfect element for a scary horror movie, right? Like the jump scare, right? So perfect. We could check that off the old checklist. What else are we looking for? A monster. We've got monsters in this movie.
Right.
It's a monster movie. Like, check that off a checklist. We've got something that's trying to kill you. You know, I don't know what other the criteria is. It's just the two that I have made up in my head that are set in stone now. Let's not forget that. That's set in stone.
Darkness.
So
Darkness.
Yeah.
It's in the night. That's another.
Yeah,
Right,
and would you
right,
guys
yeah.
consider? Well, I'll let 9 go. Do you 9 consider it a horror movie?
Now I wasn't like really considering it at first, but I'll tell you guys this. I was actually watching it with a friend, and it was their first time watching it. And they were like, what the hell is this? What's going on? And a little bit like creeped out. There is some pretty good practical effects here where,
Mhm.
you know, people are like getting a little disfigured. They're, you know, zooming in right on the eye to like see this guy doping. Like, you know, they're just creeping you out throughout the movie. So I would say it's definitely horror adjacent. I think maybe there's another question is like the abundance of monsters, and we can get to that later too. Maybe the abundance of monsters, like if it was like one single thing, like the xenomorph or whatever, I feel like it would be then more of a horror movie, right? But since there's like an abundance of monsters, it's almost like I don't know, it's like a on the run chase kind of disaster thing going
I
on.
would say it's a horror movie only because you got like Tremors and
Right.
I don't consider Tremors a horror movie.
or well, I mean it is. I mean it's.
I would always find it in the horror movie section at Blockbuster. So
yeah,
you're
it
wrong,
is.
Jeff.
Yeah,
Yes, that's a good point because Blockbuster is leading everything right now in
Not
the
anymore.
movie area.
They used to.
Not anymore, but they used to.
When Tremors came out, it was.
Muhammad Ali used to be a good boxer until he wasn't. Like everybody still considers him the GOAT.
You know,
so
Blake,
I'm just
according
saying.
to your criteria, Tremors is during the day, so not a horror movie.
It's one of the elements.
You know what? But that's gonna be on our next episode of Does It Hold Up? We're gonna do a Blockbuster.
Oh my God, seriously?
Blockbuster. Does it hold up? I'm not gonna ruin this. No spoiler.
Yeah,
All
it
right, so
definitely has,
Alex, what do you think? Horror movie or not?
I think that it's definitely a horror movie. It's definitely a creature feature, as it were. Because I mean, like
Creature
it's
feature,
very,
yeah.
I hate when he be doing shit.
well, when I talk,
I'm saying creature feature. This is why this podcast is.
That's a specific.
No, like I feel like that section nails it. It's a bit of a creature
specific and
feature.
reasonable
like that.
genre.
The nerds have spoken. It will suffice.
it will suffice. No, because it does, like you guys had mentioned earlier, it's kind of parallels to Alien, and it's kind of like Alien if all the crew members hated each other.
They actually
were nefarious.
They were actually when they were in production of this movie, they were actually very concerned about it being too
No,
soon.
bring up the alien point. Why does this feel like an alien movie? Bring up the alien point, Bill.
Well, it's
the plot.
There's aliens.
Right, but there's a specific thing I thought Bill was going to go to because I did a little research on this movie, and I'm hoping Bill did the research.
I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna throw it to you. I'm gonna throw it to you right after this because all I was gonna say at this point is that the producers were very concerned about this story being too close to the alien story, so that's why a lot of these characters have actual, like the extra characters, they have actual what do you call it, character arcs,
yeah,
that
development,
the actual develop throughout the story, and then like whoever you think is going to end one way doesn't end that way, and people that you think they are don't end up being those people. The people who you think are strong end up being weak, that kind of thing. So it was very similar to Alien at first, but they did change a lot of things that made it not.
The original write-up for this movie, the original script for this movie was an Alien sequel.
Yes.
And it makes sense when you think about, you're like, okay, think about this. Let's just paint the picture, guys. These aliens have, like, they're living on this planet. Have they been living there for a long time? Because they would have killed everything, and how would they have lived?
Right.
They could only have lived if somebody brought these aliens to this planet and were like, let's see how they do in
The
sunlight.
Predators.
Or the Predators, maybe. Who knows? Yeah. If they are, they're dead. But that makes sense when you start to think about the logistics of like, how do these aliens? How long were they living here? Were they just living subterraneously? And like, if so, for how long? And did they just? So from my thought process, it's like if this was originally an alien movie, well, what do aliens do? Like, you bring them and you try to like experiment with them, and then they get set loose, and then they just sort of live there. And that feels to me how these aliens live. Like, perhaps in my head, like a theory is these colonists who were there were like they brought these alien species here and were like testing with them to see like, okay, this planet goes dark for a month, how long can they live? Can they outlive us? Can we, defend us from them? I don't really know. And then all of a sudden they kill them.
So that's interesting because one of the other early ideas for the movie was, one, Riddick's a girl.
Right.
Two, comes from like an extraterrestrial barbarian techno race. But three, and another big part of it was the alien civilization and all this. They explored the subterranean and everything, and they found like temples and stuff to them. So it was like the indigenous worshiping them. And then, oops, God ate us.
That's an interesting. Bummer. that is interesting. Like, and I would have actually liked a little bit more of like lore around the actual creatures. There are like hints of like what's been going on with them, because like you guys, like I think Blake, you mentioned how like with no food there, they would just kind of like what are they going to eat after they eat everything? It seems like at some point they are killing each other.
Mm-hmm. They cannibalize each other a bit.
Yep. Yeah. But they just kind of like wash over that. But it's understandable they don't.
We were talking.
It looked like a
rewatch because I was like, "Yo, if you think about this shit, the story, this don't really make no sense as far as the species. Why would you eat everything? Like you're the way your species work, you go into hibernation for 22 years." And then you come out and you devour everything that's around. But then my thing is, once you devour everything, then there is nothing. So for a whole year, you gotta like just go hungry? No, you're gonna eat the nigga next to you. It's just fucking.
Well, I was looking at it like it's more of a like that whole process is like a mating ceremony, like ritual or whatever that they like do. And then it's not like always, maybe it's not always just like 22 years. Because the line that I heard was like, it was just 22 years during this start of the month or whatever on the planet. So maybe it was, it happens just like everyone. I don't know how long this planet goes dark for, or when it goes dark. I
said 22, but I might have just been wrong.
All right. So I got 2 points for that. One of the pieces of trivia I read was these alien flying nightmare things. They got 3 stages of life. The final stage is the one we see with like the weird long heads. The second stage, if you remember, when like earlier in the movie when one of the missionaries, I guess, opens the doors and like all the little bat things come at them. That's the middle stage of life. But the first stage of their life is those glowing worms, which makes sense if they're a predominantly cannibalistic society. The only way to get out of the larval stage into the middle stage is if
bioluminescent,
and the older ones can't eat.
Isn't that crazy how life works?
And two,
look how God worked.
Bill,
look how God worked.
Bill,
God
I think
be letting
like
life come into the look. That's why people in Ohio, we gonna stand with you. No, I'm joking.
Bill, do you know how bears work?
Bears,
specifically male bears. Well, yes, but so specifically male bears. I think it's specifically brown bears, but when female bears have young, they stop mating and they just take care of the young. So male brown bears realize this and think, I really like to fuck. So they kill the young so the females will bone again.
Oh,
Maybe something like that.
Jesus.
Hmm.
That is
That's what
savage.
they
And
Romans
that's on
do.
Earth.
That's some
what-
like
that's what
reverse
the
Oedipus
Romans-
shit.
That's what the Romans used to do.
Reverse
So-
Oedipus, yeah.
Right.
So maybe it's that. Maybe
Sins of
after
the
they get out of
father.
that larval stage
Oh
where
my-
they can't touch them, they kill the shit out of the teenagers, which fuck
You
teenagers
gotta,
anyway.
come on, Jeff. You got to kill your son so he doesn't grow up to take your stuff later.
I mean, like, have you listened to any oracle ever? Obviously, that's how you got to do it.
Obviously, if I want to survive this crazy world, then obviously I have to be as ruthless as possible. As ruthless as a brown bear, at least.
Yeah, Stefan's had 6 kids and they've all died at his hand.
No, I hate them. Like what was it? Zeus's father. I hate them.
No. Kronos.
Kronos, yeah, God of War
Kronos.
fans are mad at us right now.
And then you just give him rocks and he pukes all the kids back up.
Every time I've had rocks, it was cocaine. That's how you know it was cocaine. You know it was crack. That's how you know. Those
So
rocks
Zeus was
became-
black? Wait a minute.
Oh,
The specific kind of rocks.
I mean, bro, he was from Greece. He wasn't white.
Right. These crack
But he
rocks.
would have been more of like my people's color, like more of like a brown, right? Like that would have been
Blake, you're
the
white.
thing.
So Alex,
And it's
I
on
got
the
a question for
surface.
you. Alex,
Okay.
Alex, I got a question for you. Where was this movie shot? Because it was fucking
Australia.
hot. It looked fucking like it was in the middle of nowhere. Blake,
It was
you said
Australia. It was
in
the Australian desert, and they shot it.
Specifically-
Uh-huh.
Go ahead.
Oh no,
you
I
got
was just gonna say they shot it in their winter because it was cold, and like
Cooper
they had
Petty,
to like spray
Australia.
water on them. Cooper Petty. Okay.
And yes, I read the exact same thing. So it was 50 degrees Fahrenheit, but they had to make it look like a desert. So they sprayed them with water. So they just had like drops of water on them in 50-degree weather, which just fuck you.
Yeah, like the director was actually even worried that like it was so cold. He was kind of worried that you'd be able to see their breath while they were filming, because like that kind of doesn't scream.
Not worried about
desert.
that.
Well, I mean,
Uh,
honestly, it's freezing in the desert at night. So
Yeah.
in Joshua Tree, right outside of here in Los Angeles, I mean, it snows sometimes. I mean, like,
yeah,
but I do understand what he's saying because people are stupid. So people are definitely going to look at it and go, "Why is it for cold in the desert?" Like, I understand that. It doesn't give
Fun-
off desert vibes.
yeah.
Fun fact, they also shot Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome here.
The same place. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I wonder if they went through the same super tumultuous shooting that this movie went through.
Probably. Find out next time on.
Does
Does it?
Yeah, the weather was unpredictable. There were thunderstorms, 80-mile-per-hour winds almost every shooting day, and rain so bad that production vehicles got stuck in the thick mud.
Yeah. I'm
Uh,
thinking that is basic. That's why this movie kind of gives, you guys mentioned Alien, but it gives me Mad Max vibes for real, too.
yeah, it
I mean,
definitely has
shouldn't
the
that
Mad
give you
Max
Jurassic
vibes.
Park vibes?
The
The rain's ruining
feel
everything.
Oh, yeah, the backstory, yeah, definitely gives you some Jurassic Park.
Also,
vibes.
can I just mention? I found the name out of these monsters. They're called bioraptors. So Jurassic
Oh my
Park
God.
might not be far off.
that is
All
That's
I'm
a
saying.
dope name.
Bioraptor. That's
is
kinda
very
cool.
good, man.
Alex, I gotta say, with all those issues, it makes the fact that they shot the entire movie in 65
60
days.
days. Oh yeah,
60?
say.
That's
60.
so much more impressive, right?
Right. Yeah. Like, and all this stuff, like, put them a week behind shooting schedule too. So it's, and their financing production,
Bro,
financing studio,
Polygon or
Studios.
Polygram, that company went bankrupt during the movie.
during the
This was
movie.
one of their
Hologram
last
was,
3 movies.
Polygram was who Wu-Tang was signed to, wasn't it?
Not no more. Not no more.
I'm saying at the beginning, isn't that who signed Wu-Tang?
Maybe.
I don't know.
But
If
yeah,
I'm wrong, do a shot because I'm about to do a shot right now. If you do watch
Gotcha.
the show, if
Let
I'm
me know
wrong,
when.
do a shot.
Well, yeah, it was definitely a really rough production, like time. But you could tell that there was like a lot of work that was put into the production design because they actually looked pretty cool. As far as like the way
sometimes
there was some
actually there's a lot of trouble that I had with the editing.
It sounds like Blake likes it and Nine has a problem. So Nine, you go first, and then Blake, you follow up.
I probably have different likings than Nine has critiques.
And after
so
that,
yeah, let me hear the critiques.
Well, the scenes where they are in the day are a little bit hard to look at. And I get what they're going for with the three sons all kind of like transluting their own like light, but the switch ups were coming a bit too like it was a bit too jarring, a bit too like the color grading is just awful. And I just had a hard time following it. Like I understood it, but I was like, is there like really a purpose to it or not? And especially when they first land on the planet, it is so overblown and sad. Yes, like this. Well, I was like, how do I turn this down just a little bit?
And then when they go to that harsh blue sun, like, ooh.
Yeah, it was hard to watch in those scenes.
That was one of my favorite things that I remembered about it being like, oh, there was some scenes where it was orange and some scenes where it was blue. The scene I had a problem with is when they did all three. Like they have it and they're like, oh, there's a sun over there and there's a sun over there, and they changed it all in one like frame, and I was like, no,
just bloody hell.
Don't do that. Don't do that because that doesn't work. And I feel like Neil deGrasse Tyson is about to pop up and be like, this couldn't work, and let me tell you why. And I'm like, I just have Neil deGrasse Tyson in my head being like, you can't have the three suns positioned in that way because it would take over a year for them to be perfectly aligned in a quite a straight ellipses line.
Well,
and
honestly,
there wouldn't be an eclipse.
Well, honestly, if you like know anything about the three body problem, the fact that there is three suns means that planet is fucked. It is so fucked. Nothing is living on that. Like three suns with their own gravitational influence, it would not work out for any given amount of time.
Torn apart.
It would have been torn.
It's funny that
it would have to be a massive planet, like three times the size of
even then it would have just like setting up there or like having any type of atmosphere would fuck it.
Well, it would have to be like bigger than the Death Star or that weird one that they had in the prequel like one.
I think the bigger thing would be okay. One of the reasons why Earth is considered so amazing is because we are literal exactly end of sentence period.
That's right. It's like America. Earth is like America in the galaxy. Like fuck you, Mars. Fucking live here, you dumb bitch.
It's because we are the exact perfect distance from our sun, and our moon is the exact perfect size for our planet. All these things came together in such a unique way that can make life. It's such a unique equation.
Came together like butt cheeks. That's what we say on this show.
And the fact that our sun and our moon are relatively the same size in our sky is actually like a pretty crazy phenomenon.
It's the only reason we're able to have eclipses.
I've got to document this. Don't make me pull Alex Jones out for this.
It's amazing that also that women have babies.
Or rights.
But it is interesting that like one of the I guess flaws of the movie that they don't really it's sci-fi with a lowercase s because they don't really address any consequences to having three suns in such close proximity except it's like kind of hot.
And Alex, the funniest part is, do you know how easy it would be to address that? Literally one character just looks at those two suns and then looks at that sun and just goes, how is this even possible? That's it. Just one being like, man,
that's like, that's
how random, huh?
Like
that's all you got to do to address the incredulity.
I think that
incredulous
of this. Fine. I thought that was fine only because that's not what this movie's about. This movie's about
Yeah.
the black.
Yeah, I will say that. Yeah, like when it's not.
Before you say it,
no,
I think that's also why they gave it so much overexposure in the light. Like it didn't look like that in 2000. It looks like that now because we're watching it on 4K televisions.
Yeah, and I think I got like a shit copy like that I downloaded, and it does not look really good when I was streaming it to my.
We bought it
TV.
on YouTube, so it wasn't your purchase. It was the. It was just straight up bad, man.
Yeah, it still looked bad on
time. Time did that, bro.
I'll tell you what, I watched it over streaming, but if you guys want, I'll send any of you the DVD I got over there that I haven't watched in about 14 years.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
I bet that looks wonderful.
It's in a DVD wallet. It's not even in my fucking actual. Yeah.
What were you about to say about the movie, Alex?
I
mean about the sun
pitching of the black.
Oh, I mean, I said what I was gonna say about the. Oh wait, yeah. I was just gonna say that the film does look the best when the sun isn't like a factor, because this is a very ambitious movie. They're trying to do a lot with the visual effects, and the more they try to do with the visual effects, I think it's distracting to the to the story.
Everything
I think
was a good scene.
The editing is crazy in this.
To its credit, like there I will say it is very ambitious, right? Especially when like there's those 90 like where it has the Dutch angle and it's sort of blurry when like she's underground, right? And it's sort of like wobbly. Like it has this like it does this thing where it sometimes goes to the character and it does this like wobbly. And I'm like, I don't know what you're doing, but I appreciate that you're trying to do something different.
Sometimes it works.
Yeah. And I even appreciate like there's a lot that I appreciate that's all different. They just shooting things different. I appreciate the saturation because I'm like, nobody else is doing that. And this works because you might not like it, but that is the whole point, to be like, I don't like this. Well, imagine that is the sun on some other different planet that's like just out rocking your eyes, right? Like it's weird. And then the really cool thing that they do are the visuals for when Vin Diesel's character is able to see at night, and you had never really seen like some sort of like purpley like night looking, like you're like, oh, I see how he sees. And then you get to see the sonar of how the pitch black bioraptors get to see. Like there's a lot of really cool things visually that you look back and you're like, yeah, it might not have worked. Like I think it's much like Spawn, right? Like it might not have worked all the way, but like elements of it, you look back and you're like, they're doing some stuff that they've cleared up now that are really cool to look back to be like, that's cool that they did that.
Because including the eyes, you're speaking about the eyes, like
the shine job,
the way he visions, but the way his vision is portrayed, but the eyes also were prototypes that have never been used before. The contact lenses that they use to create that image on his eye, on Vin Diesel's eyes, is just we're watching. We're talking about the show, right?
Fun fact.
So we're gonna say, Riddick's
go with the fun
eyes.
Fact. Go with the fun fact. Fun fact one.
Vin Diesel called them the hubcaps, and two, the first time they put them in, they couldn't get them out.
They had to call an optometrist from 3 hours away. They had to fly him in on a helicopter.
Yeah. And then the best part is, then a company sold the fucking contacts to the general public as just like fun colored contacts.
Wow. See, you guys, that's why you come to the Drunk Banthas channel. You come here to Does It Hold Up? And this is where we can give you all of the little tidbits that we go out there and find for you. You know what I'm saying? And we got motherfucking insiders too. You know what I'm saying? We got Drunk Bantha insiders. I call them spies. You know what I'm saying? You get that information. You know what I'm saying? We go get that information. Friends of the show.
Thieves of knowledge. We got them out there.
If you're enjoying yourself at this point, press the like button, and so we don't have to do like the Dollar Shave Clubs kind of stuff.
But also Dollar Shave Club, if you want to give me $1, I'll make them holler.
I'll shave a club.
We're going for DraftKings.
DraftKings,
man.
Okay, that's that.
I'm looking for some liquid death. I'd be fine with just give me some
liquid
death.
All right. Yeah. Death. Canned water. I'm down.
It's healthy. Liquid death.
It also doesn't murder the environment.
Is that what are you drinking, Blake?
This right
Blake's
here is a
drinking
Waterloo.
tea.
It's sparkling water. Yeah.
Okay, see, look at that sparkling water. Look, come on now. Look, we can do thousands for you. We got you.
I'm drinking out of an old Greg koozie.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
Jesus
Greg.
I'll send you guys some.
Please do.
He's not lying. He's not lying.
Hey, I'm gonna hold you to it. If I don't have a koozie in my mailbox in a month, I'm gonna be upset. But yeah, let's talk about the story a little bit. What did you guys think of the story?
Well, I have a question because I don't necessarily like understand what is the ship doing? Are they just transporting people?
Oh, I can explain that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. The ship is like a coach way of traveling in the future across space. See, they cryogenically.
Yes, they cryogenically freeze you, and then they transport you from this planet. You're trying to go to this other planet, or
because the archaeologist dude was like, "Yo, I shouldn't. This is the last. I shouldn't have flown coach."
No. Whoa.
So this is coach. This is basically explained that.
Bill, I have a huge argument with archaeology. The motherfucker was clearly a smuggler. He had a sarcophagus full of booze. Archaeologists smuggle bodies. He was smuggling liquor.
Well, wait a minute.
I didn't even think that.
You're talking about 1940s, 1950 archaeology. I'm talking about the 20s, where they was stealing everything because the hubcap. They used to be gold caps on the pyramids.
You know
and I don't know where they at. They ain't in no museum. They ain't in no museum.
Yeah, he reminds me of anyone that is like an enthusiast of African art.
This is sad.
Is just going to. He's robbing places blind.
And he was British, so he was like Northern British. So he.
I thought he was like French or something.
Because you know what?
No, he said he wanted to go to France.
You know what? His name is. You know what happens, Alex? Whitey will take it.
Whitey will take it. Whitey will take it. Whitey will take it, and he'll be on his way. Whitey.
That's what happens. Even in the future. Even in the future.
I need that.
I feel like it's important for me to talk at this point.
Of course, Whitey's going to take it again.
Hey.
Way to go.
Yeah, Whitey.
It's like your wrestling intro music.
No, we're the fucking worst. We will fuck it all up.
Yeah,
how about out?
We gotta do a scene. We gotta do a music video with him doing a wrestling intro to that. That's fucking amazing.
I'll just say this.
I'll give you this one.
Oh, of course, Whitey's taking it.
In 2556.
There he goes.
So there is a good chance that Paris smuggling that booze within the sarcophagus is him trying to smuggle like the last liquor or whatever off of Earth. So I will agree with you. He can be called an archaeologist as opposed to a shit fuck smuggler. And I'm sorry that Whitey took it. So
hey, look. This is, is so. Look, we like saying on this show, two things
can be true,
and that's how it goes.
Right.
I didn't.
I'm sorry I interrupted you, bro.
I was just gonna say, how about we do this? Can y'all just kick off Jeff, and this will be the real Pitch Black podcast?
That's
all minorities. That's all.
That's Pitch Black. Well, they had white people in Pitch Black too, so we gotta keep it. We gotta keep it real,
keep it diverse.
And actually, let's talk about the cast a little bit because
Kirby was in this.
Wait, who?
Kirby. Yeah, Goliath.
Oh yeah, fucking yeah. Yeah. I forgot that he's Kirby from Dead Presidents, arguably his least famous role.
We talking about Keith David? Y'all talking about Keith David?
About Keith.
Yeah, we talking
David.
about Royals. We talking about Goliath. We talking about Keith David.
Dead Presidents, underrated movie.
Dead Presidents.
But yeah, we had Keith David.
Doesn't hold up. Dead Presidents. For sure.
Well, we already know that holds up. Shut up.
Don't nobody know about
It's
it.
surprisingly low rating, so
Yeah,
it's in the criteria.
That's because white people run the internet, and we got the documents prove white people run all kinds of critics, and they run Rotten Tomatoes, and you know they try to contain all the tomatoes even on the internet. We all know what's going on.
Please don't say heavy spoilers.
Hello.
We know that they control the heavy spoilers.
We all know CIA is running, psyops. They're using people like heavy spoilers to contain the masses, and they don't want to promote black media. We already know we got the documents proved.
Right. So
we
I
know
have an
that
actual
we
question.
know emergency awesome.
Oh goddamn!
Green Red. We know all of you are here to frame me. No one looks into them. They always look into us. They always give us copyright infringement, copyright notice. Do they get copyright notice? No. Ask your friends. I've asked around. Alex Jones told me he's got the documents.
I'm not gonna do a voice, but I do want to say, just go back to the cast of this movie. We almost had a very different Riddick for this movie
With Cole Hauser.
Steven
Seagal, that's
was
right.
considered for the role, and he was basically gonna be Riddick.
Yeah,
but
why didn't they do that?
The director was like, "I will not." Like he how
the,
bad
the director was sober.
Also, they wanted somebody that was not known of the whole cast. They wanted unknown people for basically the entire cast.
Yeah,
because they felt like if you got somebody famous, man, somebody's gonna think Nicolas Cage is gonna die at the end of this movie.
Right?
And that's a good point, because one of the big trivia pieces on IMDb is this is considered Vin Diesel's breakout role, because this came before Fast and the Furious. Excuse me, the Fast and the Furious.
Right. Yeah.
Get it right.
I'm glad that you corrected yourself.
Thank you.
Yes.
Sorry. Also, like the reason he got this role is because Steven Spielberg liked his two
Saving Private Ryan, bro.
Independent films.
Mm.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, but he put him in Saving Private Ryan, because
then he was
liked
the
his
Iron
two
Giant.
films. But the reason
that was his voice.
Yeah, that was his voice, which led him to get Groot, of course, some years later. But yes, it was, they were like, yo, somebody do something.
Don't get me started on Groot.
And he was in something else.
Iron Giant. Oh no, you already said.
Yeah, but like when these movies all start filming, they're all around the same time.
Yeah, this is definitely like a real big jumping off point right before he, did Triple X and Fast and Furious.
Fucking Triple X.
Does it hold up?
I mean, it made a bunch of money.
Season 2 doesn't hold up.
But what did you guys think of Vin Diesel in this movie? Because I'm kind of constantly astounded by early Vin Diesel.
Play this scene and then ask that question, because this is a scene that I liked. Just he had multiple scenes in this, in my opinion, that just were like classic future Fast and the Furious.
Right? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But just so you know, there's a debate right now as to whether we should just leave you here to die.
You mean the whispers?
And my Dutch angle, you see what they're doing?
I see what you're doing.
I see what you're doing.
What whispers?
The one's telling me to go for this sweet spot just to the left of the spine. Fourth lumbar down. The abdominal aorta. It's a metallic taste. Human blood. Copper. Oof. If you cut it with peppermint snaps, that goes away, of course.
Do you want to shock me with the truth now?
All you people are so scared of me. Most days I take that as a compliment. But it ain't me you gotta worry about now.
Show me your eyes, Riddick.
You'd have to come a lot closer for that.
Let's go.
Oh, she so wants it.
Kiss me on my lips.
Closer.
I love that
A little bit closer.
I love that his sci-fi costume designer gave him a Target tank top.
You don't need much when you're an intergalactic badass, bro.
Yeah, man. And he just got out of prison.
They still call them wife beaters.
You know, I didn't want to go there.
How can I get eyes like that?
They still call them wife beaters in the future too.
Calm down, Jack.
Also, I just want to know, did anybody else wonder this? Like, who is Jack? Like, why is she on the ship? Where did she come from? Does she have parents? Or her parents?
No, they answered that. No, they answered that. No, she does not have parents.
Mhm.
They pointed out, because there was one point where there was like, let me ask, did you run away from your parents?
Or did your parents run away from you? Yeah.
So
Jack, she's a runaway?
He is considered a runaway. I'm not going to assume gender.
Her parents died. You know, I don't feel like
I'm going to assume gender because she was bleeding and she let all the pitch black monsters.
Okay. Well, that brings a question up to me.
Okay.
From where was she bleeding?
Her pussy.
Bro, she was menstruating.
She was getting her period.
No.
But why does Vin Diesel realize that?
Yes, he's a few. Okay, here's the thing.
If he's gonna dig a hole, let him dig it. Hold on.
No. That's my exact question. Because like the first time I watched this movie, I was like, "Oh man, Riddick's such a badass, man! Look at this guy. He can even tell when people are bleeding, and like, oh, he could tell that he was actually a she because he smells the blood." And now when watching, I'm like, "Why is this motherfucker accurately smelling menstrual cycles?"
I'm gonna tell you why.
Yeah.
That is.
I'll tell you one reason. He's a pimp. He's an intergalactical pimp.
Intergalactic pimping.
And this is how he gets it down, man.
Actually,
one of the things on his rap sheet is pimping.
That's what I was gonna ask. Are you saying Riddick broke out of prison from big pimping?
Yes, he was. It's one of the many charges that he has on the quadrant.
A pimp prison. It was a pimp prison. He was too hard on his hoes.
His full name is Richard Tedros Riddick. If you look at this,
if you look back on the little, there was a little dossier. It said,
"Thank you, Bill."
Tedros Riddick. I'm just trying to look. You need that. Look, this is why you come to Drunk Banthas, right?
we give you the facts, like Tedros.
One day
I'm gonna say this,
and you guys could be in the big studio, and we'll show y'all. Look, it'll be pimps all over here.
Y'all will get it. But here's the thing: a lot of these questions are semi-answered in the next film. Even as bad as Chronicles of Riddick is, there's a lot more answers that you get from there. You're like, oh, that's why he's so strong, or that's why he's like this way, because he's not a human. He's a Furian. What the question that comes is like, okay, but what are all of the attributes of a Furian? If you're the only one, then like, what are all the attributes of it? And so the thing that I get from it is like, one of the attributes that's sort of unspoken that you can sort of put together from those first two films is like, there's somehow some sort of like hunter race, and they have their sense of sight is different, their sense of smell, and their sense of hearing is completely like off the charts compared to humans. He could hear all these things that people are talking about if they're XYZ meters away that people probably couldn't hear. That would also mean to me, if this is in the pitch black universe, that his sense of smell is up there too.
Right.
If there's some sort of hunter race, so he can smell and hear better than any human that's in existence because he's not human.
Okay, but why did he cut off a piece of her hair like that and sniff it?
This is a question I have. I don't fucking know. That's fucking weird.
Can I answer that?
This turned into you real quick. This turned into you real quick.
I have an answer to that question because I'm so glad that you asked that. And I'm so glad, Blake, you brought up some great points. See, I think it was because his race of people are extremely violent and crazy. So I believe that he really was at the beginning of him escaping from his captivity. I think he was planning on killing everybody. I think he was
just a disclaimer too.
Getting out of there.
I have only seen Pitch Black and I've seen the 2013 Riddick. I have not seen Chronicles.
Oh, you should watch Chronicles more than Riddick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I watched Riddick really not by choice.
Sometimes first
Were,
dates.
were you abducted and did terrorists force you to watch this movie? That's the only reason that you'd be forced to watch this movie.
Now, Blake,
it was Tedros.
Blake, you do a show called Unfiltered Bachelor. You know, sometimes you go on a bad date.
I was gonna, Bill, you fucking beat me to it. I was gonna say, Blake.
Here's the thing.
Sometimes I have a bad date.
I have a strong rule against watching movies in the first 3 dates. Specifically to avoid bad dates. So I have
a good point.
I have since avoided watching a horrible movie or a movie against my will on the first 3 dates. Have I been in a relationship where I'm like, I don't want to watch like this rom-com, and then I end up watching the rom-com and I'm like, fuck, Breakfast at Tiffany's is really good, man.
So,
never mind.
No, see, I'm trying to get. I thought you were gonna say you don't go on dates. I thought you were gonna say you don't go to the movies in the first 3 dates because I'm trying to get some pussy. In the first 3 dates. I can't put my back down on no damn.
I have a rule because you can't communicate with you can't get to know somebody on a date if there's a whole bunch of silence going on. You meet somebody at the movies and then you're like, all right, well, I'll see you next. You guys didn't talk. You didn't have. So unless you're going to a movie that has a bar at it, and there are some movie theaters that are like have a bar, kind of a restaurant type thing, whatever, like an Alamo Draft House we have here in town. I know they have a whole bunch of them.
Alamo Draft House got a shout out. Okay.
Yeah. I was just there earlier. Went to go see Grease, did a sing along. They're gonna get shout out to me.
I can never get a good ticket at Alamo Draft House.
Oh my god, it's so hard.
There's one in Chicago now?
There's one it's like opposite of Wrigley Fields. And every time I check to see like if I can get a ticket there, it's never available. Tried to go see Barbie there for forever.
That's right. I went to go see Barbie.
Had to go get the cheap seats.
Well, Blake, we've also got 8 draft houses. Anyway.
Well, we talked about the contacts. He talked about how the hubcaps, man. He said that those things felt like wearing hubcaps.
Yeah.
It was fucking crazy how good they made it look, though.
Yeah, it did look really good. Like when they're not being super ambitious with like the bombastic CGI. The movie looks pretty good, and I will agree with Nine that like the editing and the directing I wasn't a huge fan of. Like I feel like the strongest parts of this movie is the writing and the acting. But
the editing got a bit nauseous at some points. I was it was pretty hard actually.
Well, I think it's kind of symbolic of the times. I mean, right after this we get in Born Identity, and it's a lot of that like
quick cuts.
Yeah, but it's like very overused on like a lot of quick cuts where for instance, like when one of the girls is running to find out where the gunshots are coming from, it is just a scene of her running there, and it's like all over the place. And I'm like, we don't need that at all.
I mean, aspect though. I just got through watching Rob Zombie's The Devil's
House of a Thousand Corpses.
Well, I watched The Devil's Rejects recently, while I was in Chicago, and yeah, it was a lot of that. They had a lot of scenes like that. So that's another category of makes it. That's another thing that adds it into the category of horror movie.
So not this one, but my autoplay went right into Chronicles of Riddick, and there was one scene where one of the characters turns and pulls a knife, but it just focuses on her tits. It's like, wait, what are you doing?
No, that's correct dictatorial. That's correct director. That's what he should be doing.
My friend was like, because they only watched it like halfway through, they had to go, but like they were like, I'm starting to see why they put her in this outfit.
Exactly.
Because it was like very like tight around the waist and like the hips or whatever, and then very kind of like low cut. She obviously wasn't wearing a bra in the cryopod or whatever.
Nine, you're going to be very happy to hear. There was evidently one interview with the director where they pointed that out, and his only response was just to say, hey, to all the teenage men watching this movie, you're welcome.
Yeah,
I
this
mean,
is
she had the
Yeah.
least go. They
That's-
should have got a different actress if they wanted to convey that kind of message.
Well, wait.
Feel,
I'm so sorry. I'm so
a lot
sorry to
of butt
interrupt.
shots for a lady who
Everybody.
didn't have no butt. I mean, and
That's
there's no offense to
a
her.
little
bit, I
Lady
was
is
like-
gorgeous.
Alex, I need you to pull that
Beautiful lady.
exact scene back up with sound.
okay. Yeah, pull it back up.
But yeah, she's a beautiful lady. But I just feel like that wasn't the right actress to convey those specific
I agree.
things.
But back up like 10 seconds, like not even 10 seconds. If you could back right, okay. Can we get some sound on this? Because
Oh yeah.
here's my issue with this movie. There's scenes where Vin Diesel, he does a great job. And then there's this scene, and this isn't the first time in the movie this has happened.
What are you afraid?
Me afraid?
That his fake laugh is so god awful.
Well,
They gave
That's-
him all the cheesy shit. Like the last line when he leaves the planet is like, "We can't leave without telling them goodbye." And it's like, and as soon as I heard, no, it was goodbye, right?
Yeah.
Good night.
Good
Good night.
morning.
Good night. Good night.
Oh,
Yeah.
good night.
It was good night.
Yeah.
But like they gave him all the cheesy lines, and as soon as it didn't click to me until that line, and I was like, they gave him all the Snake Ripskin lines, like
Yeah, the
everything
Arnold
from like
Schwarzenegger-
Escape,
Arnold Schwarzenegger
everything from like
line.
Escape New York, Escape LA. They gave him
But-
all the cheesy lines, and I love it.
Right.
Like I
But-
hated it up until that line. I was like, all right,
This
I get
was
it, and I like it.
almost
But
the
you
90s.
can
Like this
act
was written
the
in
laughs
the 90s.
better.
The whole point, I don't think they wanted to. I think that they
No, I
wanted
don't
to
think they
keep
wanted to.
in line
Alright.
with the corny.
You got to
bits.
remember, this is
Then I'll say that's not
2000.
Vin's
This
fault.
is
That's
where
the director's
people-
fault.
No,
Yes.
this is 2000, man. This just came out of the 90s. That was not corny yet.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
yeah.
it was not yet.
I feel like they
Ooh.
should know that this is corny because there is a scene when we're talking about like just like the sexualization of her character, right when they realize that the ship is going down and people are coming out the cryopods. There's this really weird thing where like John falls on her, and it's just kind of like they take a beat or whatever, and he says, "Why did I fall on you?" I was like,
Right.
That's
Why did I fall asleep?
That's like
that's what y'all are not, that's what you're not catching up. That's what I'm saying. This is 2000. That's the year before 1999's Woodstock.
Oh god.
So I'm not gonna say I'm just gonna say that's where the most vapes in a fucking music festival took place,
So-
and there were no vapes back then, ladies and gentlemen. Boys
So
and
my
girls,
thing is,
if you know what
again,
I'm saying.
it's not the writing, it's not the script, it's not whatever. It is literally just Vin Diesel's laugh.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah.
And-
But
and-
as
the thing
like,
was,
as far as the corny,
This was at least twice he's done it in the movie.
Oh yeah.
but also I think it's in his contract now. We did some research. I think
Just
it's
not
in his
allowed to laugh
contract
anymore?
that he's not allowed to laugh. He puts that in all of his contracts. My
All right then, there you go.
He's just like, ha ha, I just laughed. You get it?
it?
And it's funny because even in that scene, it's like the laugh is terrible, but the "me afraid" line is actually a genuinely good delivery.
Right? Yeah.
So you
Thank
see
you.
him-
That is fine.
You see him be a bad
I'll-
actor
I'll
and a
also
good
say
actor within like the course of 2 seconds.
I'll also say this: it wasn't until this scene right here I realized she's an Australian actress, and then I
She
go,
dropped
I,
the
re-
accent here.
no, I
So
went
this
back to
was,
rewatch the movie, and there's
this is a
certain
home
lines.
Home
Even
field
in the
game.
one that you had pulled up earlier that she was in, where she's like, oh, like that, like she was talking with him, and he's like, let me show you my eyes. There's even little hints you could hear it. You're like, she's Australian. You're not American. Like I can hear it now.
Yeah.
I also want you to
Right.
do me a favor, Alex.
This is
If you
one
could
of- sorry, no, go ahead.
oh, unless we're done with this
No,
scene.
go ahead.
I need you to do me a
Same
favor.
scene?
We were talking.
it's
We were talking. No. We were talking about the cast about this movie,
Mhm.
and I need to point something out.
Which
And
scene
this
did you
is
wanna pull
mainly
up?
anything with Cole Hauser in it, because I'm about to bring up a point about Cole Hauser.
Okay.
Ladies
John's?
who love Cole, yeah, John, that's right. Ladies, I know everybody out there probably watches Yellowstone, and I'm glad that y'all love Rip. I'm really glad that y'all love Rip. You know what? Y'all can love Rip so much, y'all can go to Idle Candles. What is it? Idle. What is it? Jeff?
Illuminate.
Illuminidal. You can go to Illuminidal, go buy a candle of Rip if you want to.
Oh my God.
But what I'm going to tell you is, Rip don't look like that in real life. Alex, if you don't mind,
money, by the way, y'all said Illuminidal so many times. I don't know if y'all know the rules on Drunk Panthers channel, but if you say a product's name, you have to like ask for money after you say a product's name.
I mean, I can literally text the owner today.
Well, I was going to say, when you're saying that all the ladies love to watch Yellowstone, are you talking about demographic from like 45 to 70?
No. I'm talking about friends that I have between the ages of
20,
28 to 35. This is friends that I have that love Rip. It might be younger.
Hold on. Can we say something about
28 to 52? It is
love Rip.
And it's like scary.
This is a launch point for both of these characters, these protagonists and antagonists. You know, because Kohlhauser goes on to be in Fast and the Furious 2.
Sorry, what?
Which is the one that doesn't.
He's the bad guy in Fast and Furious 2.
The one that doesn't have Vin Diesel.
Right?
And Vin Diesel's in the Fast and Furious 1. This is a fulcrum point. This is a fulcrum point where they meet. And then their paths no longer cross in the Fast and Furious world.
See, Blake be waiting for me to not get no research. Blake be waiting for the episode that I ain't gonna have no research. But I got the research. Look, we got the documents, Blake. We got documents prove that Bill knows. Did you want to play the scene? I just want to point out,
he wanted to play that scene. Ladies, this is how Kohlhauser actually looks. Y'all are not in love with Kohlhauser. Y'all are in love with Rip from Yellowstone, who's not real. This is the real guy.
This is the real guy.
Pull him up again. Yeah, pull him up again.
He's got a ginger.
He's ginger with the baby.
He's got a ginger fro.
What? Yeah, wasn't he in Goodwill Hunting or some shit?
He was also
Dazed and Confused.
First movie I saw him in was
better in Yellowstone. I'm pulling up the pictures of Yellowstone.
Because they dye his fucking hair and beard
black. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's also like, I don't know, Lee looks like a rugged old country boy.
That's what girls love. But this is how he looks. This is your peak performance male, not him. Not him, him. That's your peak performance male. That's what y'all want, ladies? Also, this scene's cool. They go back and forth with the. I thought that was really cool. That was cool.
All right. So,
yeah, I was I didn't like that editing choice of the. Like I feel like I feel like
you didn't like.
I agree.
I felt like 2 cuts back and forth was enough. I don't think we needed 16.
You know what I thought?
No,
I thought it should have been faster.
Yeah.
You could have had them, but it should have been a little bit like.
Nah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna agree with Alex. The epilepsy cut was not a good call.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of that part. But I now I gotta see like while I Google what Kohlhauser looks like now, because I have not watched Yellowstone. This is how Kohlhauser looks in my brain.
Okay, no, he doesn't look like that now. You need to Google him.
I gotta Google that. But I'll let you
remember
guys...
old school Timberlake with like the ramen noodle hair?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
red.
I mean, that's what he. I mean, well, that's what he looks
that's
like.
That's
it. I gotta look it up. But like, while I look it up, I'll let you guys talk about the ending a little bit, because this movie does kind of set up 3 main characters. You know, we got Vin Diesel, Kohlhauser, and I forget the other actress's name. Samantha? No, sorry,
not
Mitchell.
Cole.
Rada Mitchell.
So it's Imam, Jack, and Riddick.
Okay, I've got just a few questions, and they all have to relate to the end too. So one. When they're going to the end, right, and they're like trying to like formulate a plan, does she just ask how much John's weight is just to set up a joke?
100%. Yeah.
Like literally, she's just like, "How much do you weigh?" It's like somebody who's like, they're like, "Hey, knock knock," and they're like, "I don't get what you're saying." They're like, "Knock knock," and they're like, "I guess who's there?" Like it's the most horrible setup.
Well, Blake,
and then I was like, "Bro,"
but it's because at a super serious part earlier in the movie, he asked her a knock-knock joke. That was the thing. He asked her the exact same question earlier in the movie. And she was like,
she retorted with it?
142. And he goes, yeah, sounds like that doesn't weigh shit to me, or like, sounds like enough dead weight or
so
whatever.
She retorted with the fucking joke. Mm-hmm. Also, the second point I want to bring up, and I don't know if anybody's ever going to bring this point up besides this podcast. Riddick has definitely been to jail because he knows how to use a shank, and he uses it against aliens. That's all I'm saying.
He's like, I'm not getting you no shanks.
I think
No, and he got a shank and he used it to defeat an alien. He's definitely been to jail more than once. That's all I'm saying, bro.
Hold on.
John's, you're doing some stuff with your hands. I don't know if that's good or bad. You throwing them?
Hold on a second.
What?
Gotta take a bathroom break. I'm gonna do
I
a
believe
clap
you.
here. Boom. That's for Alex and the slate. Hold on one second. It's the first bathroom break in the history of Does It Hold Up?
We're making history.
So excited.
Oh, that's not the kind of history you want to make.
Shit, there was something I was going to bring up outside of this.
Write it down because we're in an interim right now.
Wait, no. I was like wondering about different
Gotta go
shows or
posh.
things for us to bring up.
Oh,
We don't want
y'all
to
see the new Ninja Turtles?
Oh
Yeah.
my God, yes.
No, I did
Incredible. It was incredible.
Yeah.
It was good.
So good.
Alex, it holds up.
Mhm.
Me
Me and Jeff-
after
Me and Jeff saw it last Thursday.
Oh, y'all saw it together?
Oh yeah.
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 So Alex, the last podcast we were on,
Mhm.
I was texting Blake with
Buy a
my
ticket.
seat number. Being like, yo, get the seat next to me, bro.
I did it.
Oh,
It was
that's
so
awesome.
good. And then I saw it again. So that was Thursday. I saw it again that Saturday. Fucking, oh my God.
Oh yeah, it rules. I've seen it twice now too, and after I saw it the second time, I was like, I'd already been like, I was halfway through my Ninja Turtles like
Your review.
I was like, I should have gave it. I love it because like I said, I liked it in the video, but I was like,
bro,
nah, I love it.
I was
think love
upset
it.
that you only liked it. I'll be honest. I was like, bro, what? Like this was literally probably
It's
the best Ninja Turtles that's come out.
Oh yeah, definitely.
if not the best Ninja Turtles, absolutely the best animated one.
For
That's
sure.
not a high bar, but yes.
For sure. You
Yeah.
know, I have to,
But-
I'm hype on it right now, so maybe I do need to rewatch it with the first one because the first one I do really love.
Better than the first one. I rewatched the first one recently, and it's
So-
better than the first one.
Yeah.
The big issue between the first and the second one is the weapons. More weapons in this one.
Yeah, all
And-
the weapons.
And the big issue with the first one specifically is like you just decided not to like seal down the neck that day. Okay, whatever. Guess what? You don't got to deal with that in an animated movie.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like I think that this is kind of the perfect medium for the Ninja Turtles as an animated movie, especially in this era right now. This is a perfect time for the Ninja Turtles movie because not only is you can do all this cool stuff with animation that you can't do with practical movies, or
Bro.
at least studios don't want to give people the money because
I
honestly, if we
also-
could make a good Ninja Turtles.
That was what Blake
Yeah.
and my buddy and me were talking about on the drive home from this
Yes. Yes.
movie, was this animation.
Yeah.
It's so
It
good.
was so different. It was so good. I'll say this too. I had a problem before I saw the movie of they're like, oh, we're greenlighting a sequel and an animation series. And I was like, I have a problem with this.
Don't
And then I
be
watched
serious.
it. No. And then I watched it and then I thought about it. And I'm like, no, you need to capture the kids while they're still kids. The kid actors, you have to capture everything that you can within the
Yeah, that
next
is a good
2
point.
years. Like you have to.
Is it doing well? Is the
Oh,
movie
yes.
doing well?
I mean,
Yes.
here's the thing. Relative to Barbie and Oppenheimer, it's the number
I mean,
one.
those
movie.
are-
relative.
Yeah.
So like they're number one and number two, but relative, it's the number one movie.
Yeah.
After
So
that.
also 9. One of the big things that, and Alex, I guarantee without asking you, you will agree with us. 9, one of the best things that Blake and my buddy Pat and I that saw it that night loved about it was first ever Ninja Turtles anything where they actually looked like teenagers.
Sounded
Oh,
like
really?
sounded like
They
teenagers.
felt
Sounded like teenagers, looked like
yeah.
teenagers, felt like teenagers. Bro.
Because it's honestly it's kind of weird because like they always just kind of felt like dudes, and especially with 90s, we've been watching a lot of like Three Ninjas and Surf Ninjas and shit. It's like, oh, people
Okay.
just thought that the teenagers.
Alex, I got to throw in real quick. I'm so upset I wasn't there for Surf Ninjas. It is one of my favorite
Surf
movies.
Ninjas hasn't happened yet.
It haven't happened yet
Alex,
because I'm gonna
I
hop
need
on
to
it.
be there for Surf Ninja. I mean, God,
I'm gonna hop on it.
outvoted.
Yeah,
Voted.
that's the one where that's the one where Spawn won. Spawn won the vote on that one.
Voted.
Want to, dudes.
First of all, that's coming up in season 2 of Does It Hold Up? How many episodes are we almost to?
I don't know.
I think we're almost to 15.
Bill, you need to stop. Here's the thing. I'm going to tell you a critique. You need to stop telling him to do everything because y'all don't have enough time to do everything, bro. I don't have enough time to do everything.
It's season 2. That's what I'm saying. Season 2.
Y'all need to, again,
everything.
Book me for season 2 and season 3 so that way, as I'm watching my baby, I can be like, hey, that's me right there. Baby. The baby's going to have a Facebook or a YouTube page and he's going to click like on y'all shit. Like,
do you guys know how excited I am to have a podcast? How does it hold up? Where Blake just can't curse because he's holding an infant the entire time.
Oh, that's amazing! Yeah, no, I love that.
I wouldn't be able to do it because I'd be yelling.
Blake's about to be Peter B. Parker, actually.
Yep.
And I appreciate that you almost said, "How did this get made?" I take that as a compliment. I take that.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's actually a pretty good compliment.
Really good compliment.
It's one of my. I was like, oh, I want to start a podcast and do that. Right. When I started listening to how did this get made?
At any time I compare someone to Jason Matsukas, it is a compliment.
Hang on, man.
I'm about to do the slight. I'm about to do the slight here. You'll know what the terrible.
Wait. Before, don't clap. Before you clap, the fuck were we talking about before the last clap?
I think Blake was on his third point.
About
leading into the ending.
Thank you. Please continue.
Okay.
I needed to know where we were.
I'm so glad.
I was just saying.
You 9.
Yeah.
Oh, I do this all the time.
I've got a plan for this. See, I said, hey, hold on. And now I'm just going to clap again, and then it'll be okay. We were experiencing technical difficulties.
I'll tell you what. I'll be so much happier if it looks like you just finished sneezing.
Oh, okay.
And that was it.
I can do that. Ready? Here we go. Hold on. Okay, my bad, Blake.
Bless you.
You just
bless you. Yeah.
I'm sorry. You probably don't. I'm sorry.
I was
messed up your whole train of thought. You just go ahead. You go ahead.
Riddick has definitely been to jail because he knows how to use a shiv, and he shivved his way to life. Is all I'm saying. And give me the backstory on him learning how to use a knife in jail. How about we do that and not go to be like, he's a Furian and he's from this place. Nobody gives a shit about that. Give me the backstory. Give me a prequel, not a sequel.
Yeah, honestly, I haven't seen, or I saw Chronicles of Riddick once years ago, and I don't remember anything about it, and I didn't see the 2013 movie. But
you're jealous because he doesn't remember anything about it.
Exactly.
He got MIB'd.
I do like this, like Vin Diesel is genuinely carrying this movie.
Man, Jeff got PTSD off the goddamn.
Start having flashbacks. Yeah, I do just genuinely like the man, what was I say?
I'm sorry.
Vin Diesel was carrying this movie.
Oh yeah, Vin Diesel. Yeah, he's carrying this movie. I feel like his performance is really, really good. He and I feel like the character is really interesting, even to the point where, the director was saying that there were some ego problems on set where Cole Hauser, Vin Diesel, and Rebecca
Lobo.
I keep forgetting her.
Rebecca Lobo.
Carolyn Fry.
No, it's not. Carolyn Fry. Big Booty Judy.
Radha Mitchell.
Radha Mitchell. Yes. There was apparently
Australian?
Yeah, she is Australian. I told you I could hear her accent, and I looked her up. She's Australian.
Yeah, she's
right.
Radha.
It was kind of distracting, and I hate that in sci-fi movies. Goya. I hate that in sci-fi movies when you're out in space. Why do you need to tell this woman to speak with an American accent?
That's what I'm saying. It's like
what your accent is.
I was just like, wow, they have a new Muslim Hajj that they go to, and it's just
called New Mecca. New Mecca.
Right.
Respect. Put some respect
New
on
Mecca.
the name.
I'm just saying, it's just yeah, of course. She doesn't need to speak within an American accent. No one needs to speak in a particular accent because it's the fucking future and in space.
Yeah, the more
I would
accents,
expect people to have like a weird or different
here's the thing,
cumulative dialect.
If that's the case, I'd expect everybody to have a South African accent, because it's like blendy. It's super blendy. It's like kind of Dutchy, kind of German, kind of like, is that English? Is that Australian? I don't really know what the fuck that is.
South African accents can get a little Kiwi.
Like it's a little. Is that Dutch? Is like what's going on there?
They do.
Real quick, I'm going to throw out there.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry.
If there was going to be a universal Earth accent, it would be closer to not an accent they did, but an idea they did within Firefly and Serenity, which is a Chinese-born speaking English or English-born speaking Chinese.
Yeah, a lot of Mandarin.
All of this being said, I have Alex. You made me so happy by bringing this up. So, I believe it was you that brought this up. All right. So here's something that I loved about this movie. They took our anti-hero and they gave him an amazing power, but it was a simple power. He can see in the dark.
Right.
All of my favorite, he's a superhero, really? Like, no, he just has like this one thing about him. And then he uses it so well to his advantage.
He also has small superpowers that we kind of tell, but he can smell the blood of a woman's vagina.
Bill, no. Because we're just going Pitch Black. We're not going Chronicles of Riddick.
I know, but I'm saying he clearly, because he could hold on to the monsters' heads, you know what I'm saying? Like he killed that one monster by holding on to his head.
Did you not see those biceps? That's what explains it.
Oh, you saying these 20-inch pythons, brother?
Well, I will say this. Fun fact. That scene where
Vin Diesel was looking good.
That scene where he lifts his arms up and then gets them over. Evidently he really did that.
Yeah,
he's a breakdancer. He's a breakdancing.
He can double joint his shoulders. And actually,
wait, give me 1 second. Because here's my thing about
my point's not going to be relevant anymore.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, evidently, people who are gymnasts, that is a teachable trait. That's all I'm saying. Like, dislodging your shoulders is a teachable trait. So
I thought you just learned that in Australia. Obviously, Mel Gibson.
No, I'm just saying.
Lethal Weapon on the list. Go ahead.
The issue I have. All right, here's the difference between Pitch Black and Chronicles of Riddick, which Alex, I know you haven't seen. Pitch Black, his big power is he can see in the dark, and that's it. And then they make Chronicles of Riddick, and it's not just like he's this human that can see in the dark. It's he's from this extinct race and has a superpower and can just and kill everyone. And fuck you. The best heroes are heroes that just like have one little specific trait that they work so well. There's a book series I love where the main
in Pitch Black it's prison. His superpower is he's been to prison, and that's that's a hell of a superpower right there.
Nine I'm gonna get there too. I actually will get there as well. But so there's a book series I love called The Night Side, where the protagonist's main power, it's his only power. He can find anything. And that seems like simple and silly. But then like there'll be people coming at him with a gun and he'll be like, hey, I can find like how to get the bullets from your gun without you being able to shoot. Like anyway, all that. Now, the point of this is this movie was great. And they made a fantastic prequel, but it was a video game.
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard about the video game.
I played it.
The Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. In this whole storyline, Riddick is still just a human, just a person. Yeah, he's strong, but whatever. But when I think that's what it was, Alex, you brought up shivs and shit. There's a mini game in this game.
I did that.
Is you got to box people in the yard. And if you get good enough, you can hide a shiv. And when you're boxing them, you can slice the fuck out of them. That's a mini game in this game. But so the thing is, like, this is the game that
very
explains
Assassin's
that,
Creed type shit.
right? So it explains this. It explains how Riddick gets his eyes. It explains all of it and how he escapes from Butcher Bay. Then how Johns finds him, and then how the movie starts. It is
but that's non canonical because Furians
they made the sequels though.
Because of Furians are born with those eyes.
Not gonna lie, I hated,
This actually looks like pretty good graphics. When did this come out?
After 2000.
Yeah, it was like 2000.
That actually looked like pretty decent.
And Blake,
absolutely hated games.
Furians are not born with those eyes.
Fucking playing Doom
because
from 93. The fuck is that? Get the fuck out of here.
Blake, Furians are not born with those eyes because, spoiler alert, in the Chronicles of Riddick, when he's on
the other guy is Furian.
So hot.
The other guy's Furian, and he's like, "Oh, I'm the last born Furian," and he doesn't.
And that guy had normal eyes.
Well, you're right.
Which, by the way, guys, they go to a planet that's so hot, if you step in the sun, it literally burns you to death. And I'm not fucking around. The name of the planet is Crematorium.
See, you pronounced it wrong. It's crematorium. You're so disrespectful.
No. I watched it today.
No, I'm joking. But
I'm sorry. That was my tangent.
For the purposes of this movie, we do have to add one thing that we haven't talked about, and that's the score. How did you guys come away feeling about the score? Nine, you just recently watched it, I think. Yeah.
I mean, like it was decent. I would say that the plane or the ship crash was actually pretty dope. More for the effects of the monsters or whatever. I was like, oh, it's like they actually sound like aquatic creatures almost, you know? I really like that.
And they do have like alien hands, right? Like the xenomorph hands. As you look at them, like the sort of claw.
Point, there's webbing between the fingers.
Yeah, they do sound kind of aquatic, but they have webbing because they also fly. I believe. I think they're kind of like bats.
Mm-hmm. They have wings. If you look at that scene, like you could see the full.
They also use echolocation.
Right.
Yeah. So I really like that aspect to it. I was like listening to it and I was like, oh, this all sounds like really cool and interesting. Like a bunch of whales and dolphins talking to each other or whatever the fuck.
Bats, no, that's not
Blake,
how bats talk to each other.
Blake,
that's how bats got. But it sounded like more whaley and oceany than like just screeching and whatever.
I think they probably used a combination of the two sound design wise. But Blake, how did you feel about the score in this movie?
It didn't take me out of the movie. It didn't take me out of the movie. I'll say that.
Did you feel like it kept you in the movie, or did you feel like it?
If anything took me out of it
at all.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if anything took me out of the movie, it wasn't the score. Like the score felt very like of the time of the movie, and like is it one of my? Am I like, dude, Hans Zimmer, man? Am I right? Right, like or anything like that? Like no, but it didn't take me out of the movie. It was like a video. It was like a video game soundtrack, like anything like that. Like if you've ever played video game, and like the soundtrack, you're like, it wasn't bad. It kept me in the video game. That's what it felt like. It felt like a video game soundtrack, like where I'm there. If everything feels right where it needs to be, great, perfect. Let's go.
Right. Yeah, I felt the same way. I really enjoyed the music. I didn't really feel like it took me out, especially a lot of movies during this time. It can feel very dated.
Yeah, that's true.
But this was fine. This was. Like it works best when you're not noticing it that too much, it wasn't bad. What about you?
Wait, who is it by? Is it by someone like
Trent Reznor?
It's by who?
I was fucking with you. I said Trent Reznor. It is not Trent Reznor.
Okay.
it is not the front man of Nine Inch Nails.
Well, Alex, what else do we got to talk about on this movie?
I mean, well, pretty much.
I want to just give credence to your point, Bill, because in this movie, you don't even have to watch Chronicles of Riddick to know that Riddick has more superpowers than just eyes. The man is able to pull 4 power cells that weigh 35 kilograms apiece.
Yeah, explain to people
Do-
what math
yeah.
that means. I don't know.
That's
do the
around
math.
240
Okay.
pounds.
Now,
Yeah,
Blake,
do the math.
Blake.
A piece?
Just because you don't do leg
No,
day
not a
doesn't mean
piece.
Riddick doesn't.
Not not a piece. So it was like
doesn't matter. That's a lot.
I think they said like 35 kilos. It was like
It's-
around 70 a piece, 70 pounds a piece.
That's
No,
still
it's
a lot
it's
to be
yeah, it's
trying.
about 76 to 80 pounds a piece because 30 a kilogram is 2.4 pounds like per
Put it in the
pound,
comments.
like whatever.
Let us
Anyways,
know right now. If you put it in the comments
it's-
right now, you get a free T-shirt. Drunk Banthers T-shirt.
It's
right
anywhere
now.
between 220 and 250 pounds.
If
Blake
he's wrong,
really wants that
if he's wrong,
free
you get a
t-shirt.
9 nerds. If Blake is wrong, you get a 9 nerds T-shirt. And if you put
Do it.
in the right answer, you get a drunk.
you get
Banthers.
it. You get a,
And,
you get a drunk.
and no
Banthers
matter
t-shirt.
what your response, Blake buys you the T-shirt. So,
But
All right.
so yeah,
All right, fair
man.
enough.
I think that, well, first of all, I gotta ask one question that we always ask: who is your MVP of this? Real quick. Everybody answers real quick. Jeff, who's your MVP for the movie?
Rana, Colonel Fry, whatever her name is. No, taking that back.
I can come back to you. if you want.
Keith David.
Keith David. Ooh.
Keith David for one line. And that's when Fry shows back up with Riddick and he goes, that's where my God is, Mr. Riddick.
Okay.
And the reason why, that was an improvised line.
Oh shit.
And that's why Keith David is my MVP.
I also want to give credence to that, Jeff, because usually in movies, the priestly figure dies in like horror movies, right? Like, so I want to give credence to that.
Well,
they kept Keith David alive, and they killed all of his.
priestly.
I mean, they killed three of his guys.
Figure.
So
He's the only black guy in the movie, and usually the black guy dies, especially in horror movies.
Yeah, this and Deep Blue Sea, like the black guy lives. You know what I mean? So like,
I mean,
I'm
okay,
not-
the black guy. Okay, deep, yeah, because Samuel L. gets a real unexpected.
Okay, but the one
you have to viciously kill the dark skinned dude and let the light skinned bald dude live.
Yeah.
Alex, ladies love cool jeans.
In this movie, 2 black guys live to the end. In Deep Blue Sea, only 1 black guy lives, and that's because he's got a bald head. And ladies love him.
Ladies love Cool J. No, that's what it is. But also too, because like I was like, well, I'd never listened to an album made by Samuel L. Jackson. I did listen to an album by LL Cool J, and I think the Sharks did that too. So that's why they kept him alive.
Yep.
But you know,
my hat is like a shark's fin. That's what they
right. You know who didn't care about albums? The Snakes on the Plane. That's why they kept Samuel L. Jackson alive. It's all I'm saying.
I don't remember. There's no name for the creatures in this movie, correct?
I just told you it's Bioraptors, you son of a bitch.
Bioraptors.
Why do you not listen to
me? Did they say that, or was it?
They didn't say that, but it's a thing. It is a universal thing now. Go look it up. It's a lore. It's lore.
Look. Also, look, this movie made me want to do Super Troopers, so get ready for that because
my god, I'm in. I am so
Starship Troopers, not Super Troopers.
Yeah, we know
Starship Troopers. Yeah. I'm there.
Okay, you know what, Bill? Tomato.
That's right. Bravo. But
yeah, a lot of this.
The thing.
The
talk thing.
Oh, you're getting.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Well, we might as well go ahead and wrap it up. You know, this is about that time where we ask.
I don't want to,
because we could talk about this for several hours.
Sounds good. Let's go.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it.
About that time where we ask the titular question.
Titular.
Yes.
What is your full birth name?
When did it become a titular question?
That's
how titular means. What means? Yeah.
I mean, when did that become what we say? Is all I'm asking.
It's a good word. It's a cool. I like that word. I love that.
Asking when it happened. When did
I said
it
at the
get
beginning
into
of
the
this.
script?
Yes.
I know, and I said the same thing.
Another good word
is
Epiphanes is an all other synonym.
Epiphanes.
Ooh, what does that one mean?
But it means the same thing as like the titular.
Now I'm gonna be hearing Epiphanes.
How about we just? How about we just ask?
Gonna say Epiphanes.
How about we just? say what we want to say and just ask 9. Does
it
hold
up? Had to go longer than Bill that time.
Very good.
That's
I
what,
have
that's
a
what she
competition,
said.
so I appreciate it.
Yeah, I think it does. You were asking me.
Yeah.
And also my MVP is Paris, and it is just because of that shot of like, I was supposed to die in France. I really thought that was cool because exactly.
That was beautiful. Yeah,
that was dope.
It was exactly, and then the illumination, the illumination of that part where he's, it was like a little bit of foreshadowing to his death, where he's like just blowing, the little samples of liquor into his torch, and then he does it with his lighter. And you see just all the you're like, oh yeah, you're done for. I was like, that was pretty spectacular.
This movie does a lot of really cool shots.
That's what I appreciated. Like, I could see that they were taking big swings. They were going for the fences for a lot of the editing, and different things that they're trying to attribute. I don't think it all lands, but there were times I was just like, hell yeah, let's go. Let's get it.
I also got to say, like,
hold on, Jeff. Hold on.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, this scene right here.
We gotta.
Yeah,
I just want to bring up this scene here.
Yeah,
now, go ahead, Jeff.
Now, I was just gonna say, the creatures don't always look the best. Sometimes it's very clear. It's like, but that last scene with Paris, where he just does the final, they looked perfect.
Horrifying and great.
They looked 1980s The Thing level, like practical effect good. This scene right here.
Yes. One of the best scenes of the movie.
Like, none of that looked practical effect level good to me.
Yeah. I was just like, they look.
Hold on with the sound.
I never even been to Paris. Was that what you said? I've never been to France.
I was supposed to die in France.
Yeah.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
I was supposed to die in France. I've never been to France or France.
What a great fucking line.
Yeah, and seeing them all. So yeah, Paris, and then I love the part where he's like, I think you should flee.
Yeah.
Like that. I was just like,
y'all need to get the fuck out of there.
And I got this OLED TV, so when it gets to pitch black, I had a lot of complaints about like the daytime, the filters that they were using for that. But when it actually gets to the pitch black on my OLED, I was like, okay, I'm having a good time around this.
So 9, the funny thing about that
hold on, Jeff. Ooh. Because I have one question to ask you, really.
Does it hold?
Me? Blake? Me?
No, you. I had a question to ask you.
Okay. Before
the question is.
Oh no! I already know.
Does it?
I already know.
Hold.
Before I answer, real quick, 9. The interesting thing about that is we don't get to that pitch black scene until literally an hour into an hour and 50-minute movie, which is very interesting when you think about that. But anyway, back to that. Get rid of all that. Okay, does it hold up?
Does it hold up? You want me to ask you a question again?
No, I do not. I have an issue with that.
Well, that question is
if you're asking not me, it does not hold up. If you ask me, it holds up, but not even because it's a great movie, not even because it's a well-paced movie. If you ask me specifically, it holds up because have fond memories of the movie. But after rewatching it, no, it does not hold up.
So
Interesting.
That's one for it does hold up, and that's
My
one
memories
for
of the movie are better than the movie.
Well,
Wow.
I don't know where to go. I don't know how to feel about that. I asked you how it feels.
So I'm saying it does not hold up.
Okay.
Yeah. That's one for yay and one for nay. 9. I guess we have to ask you the question.
You just did.
That's
Nine's the yay.
Nine's
the yay. Whitey's the nay.
Because see, you can either ask me, or you can ask Blake.
But what do we ask?
Does it hold up?
Blake, yes, first.
I'll take the reins on this one. It's all me. It's all me right here. This movie holds up, and it's not just because I have a fondness for this movie, or the memories that I have of this movie. It's because it's exactly the way I remember it. Like, is it the greatest movie of all time? No, and I didn't remember it being the greatest movie of all time. Is it the greatest alien or monster movie of all time? No, it's not the greatest alien or monster movie of all time. Is it a fun alien and monster movie where they tried to do different things and explore different things as far as, like, cinematography, or they try to use some different actors? Absolutely, especially of this time. If you remember, let's just compare this with something that came out close to around this time, John Carpenter's Ghost of Mars. Let's just compare this. That is a monster movie versus, hey, I'm trapped on a planet, I'm trying to get off. Or let's just no. We'll compare it to that one because it's unfair to compare it to Resident Evil, which I have other fond memories of.
Okay,
but let's compare it to Ghost of Mars. This movie is immaculate compared to Ghost of Mars.
Is that what Ice Cube?
Yeah, Ice Cube, Pam
Blake.
Grier, Natasha Henstridge. And that's
bad examples for you, man. No. Season 2 doesn't hold up. Definitely goes to Mars. Oh my god, I just got excited.
Oh no, that was what I was gonna say.
But I'll just say, like, this does hold up in comparison, especially too if you're looking at Alien 3. If you would you rather watch Alien 3 or Pitch Black? Is all I'm saying, right?
Like, right.
Just
hey, listen,
Alien 3 or Pitch Black. I probably watch. Actually, I would watch Alien 3 just because it's been longer since I've seen it.
Well,
no.
I kind of want
curiosity.
I kind of want you guys to see, like, if we do Alien 3. If you guys do Alien 3, I want to be on that just because it's been a while, and I remember just like from Alien 1 to 2.
Right.
That was the first
3. Holy shit, it's bad.
It was the first Alien movie
Alien
I ever saw as a child. So yeah.
Can I just have like an addendum to because then I'm going to be done with my segment of, like, does it hold up? I'm going to give you a definitive reason why I know this movie holds up. It's going to be definitive. You guys can't say shit after this.
This is the first rebuttal.
Come on, my baby.
All I'm going to say is that because I was watching it with a friend, and halfway through, when it gets to the pitch black part, they were like, they had to leave, and they're like, I really want to finish watching this. I want to know, like, what happened.
Okay, that's good.
So it's just like, and it's their first time watching it. So I feel like that's kind of a definitive thing. That's like,
that's a great point, because
that's a very good point.
I'm really the one thing I'm really curious about is, like,
does it hold?
I gotta
up?
ask Alex a question.
Was I done? Did y'all?
Does it?
No, the question is.
The question. Does it hold?
I didn't know I was done. No, I did not know I was done. That is
you're
rude.
done. You're not done.
That's right.
That's right. You weren't done on
I
this.
literally had 9 and Jeff be like, "Hey, here's some points," and then I thought I was going to complete.
Go ahead. I'm muting my mic right now.
You know what I meant to say?
I'll follow 9.
Blake, the question is. No, I'm joking. Go ahead.
No, it does, and also too, if it didn't hold up, would Vin Diesel have a career off of this? right? Like I think that's a great point
to
bring up.
That's a good point. Yeah.
They made the movie by the end of this, they were like, we want a woman figure. And then they're like, nah, we want a Vin Diesel figure. And then Hollywood was like, yeah, we want a Vin Diesel in all of our movies. So this movie does hold up. Whether the rest of the trilogy of whatever else came after this holds up, that's not on me and that's not on this podcast.
I can verify one thing in that statement. Go ahead. Okay. I'm gonna let you finish.
I was just gonna say that's another reason why this movie holds up. Is everything perfect with it? No. Are we talking about does it perfect up? No, it's not. This isn't. Is it a perfect movie? But this movie does hold up, and it's a fun movie to watch.
Yeah,
end of rant.
You know, that Vin Diesel got Fast and the Furious because they liked him in this movie.
That's not possible.
Well, I mean that is
no. This came out in 2000. Fast and Furious came out in 2001.
No. That has nothing to do with when they filmed the movie.
Yeah. You're telling me. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I'm going to pull everything I just said back. I'm going to apologize because that was some bad fucking ignorance on my part.
Well, so
no, it's just that we just did. Does it hold up on Fast and the Furious?
No. So it wasn't that at all. It was. I didn't think about it in that
Alex,
sense.
You got something to say before?
No, just to clarify, we got 2 votes for it does hold up and 1 vote for it doesn't hold up.
That's right. So
we just
really just no, fuck that. I got a question. God damn it!
All right.
I have a question because I need to ask you a question because this was the thing. I'm good. No, fuck that. You're not good till you answer this question.
Does it hold up?
Shit, I'm so sorry to interrupt, Alex. I do have a question before you answer this.
This guy again.
Does it hold up?
Does it hold up?
Yeah, I'm an asshole.
I have to say it does not hold up. I was thinking about like all the stuff that went wrong with the production of this and how hard they had to work to get this production. I mean, get this. Blake left because I said it doesn't hold up. He's like, I'm fucking out of here, man. But like, yeah, like I was thinking about all the how hard it must have been to get it to this point. And I started giving it like points in my head. It's like, oh, well, they had to deal with this and they had to deal with this. It's low budget, yada, yada, yada.
You can deal with this and you can deal with that.
But at the same time, it's like, no, it's really at the end of the day, does the final product hold up when I watch this again? And I wouldn't. There's a lot of points where it gets kind of dull for me, not just the middle, but also like toward the end. I'm just like, all right, let's fucking get to it. Like
this movie would benefit from being 15 minutes shorter.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, like
the pacing is the biggest issue.
Yeah. The editing and the directing, I'm not a big fan of. Like the story seems interesting, the way that the characters all interact and the way things unfold with our 3 main characters who are all like morally gray is really, really cool. But I don't want to watch this again. I really, really don't want to watch this again.
Alex, you get it.
No, y'all are just pieces of shit that are angry at every single thing that come out. Like, fuck off.
Blake,
no.
I'm the happiest, most annoying fuck there is. And
you're right about one of those statements. You're more
no. Like
happy. But
all
yeah,
I'm saying is like shave 15 minutes off of this, and you got like just like clear up a little bit of the editing weirdness of it.
Movie.
And I think it's really good.
No.
I am wondering, is there alternate versions of this movie that have been released? Is there like a different?
The director's cut is 2 minutes longer, and you know how I know because I rented the director's cut on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, oh man,
guys, this whole thing sounds like Ukrainian parliament,
well,
or like Somali parliament or some shit.
Well,
like
so
this. You guys
Bill,
would.
Bill,
Yes.
I need to hang on. I'm sorry. I know I've been drinking a bit, but Bill, correct me if I'm wrong. We've got 2-4, and we got 2 doesn't. But I think there's one person less to vote. So I guess the question is, Bill, does it
Hold.
Everybody's putting everybody's put their own little flavor on it. I like.
Well, let me tell you something, guys.
I'm so excited.
First of all, I forgot there's so many points that I was going to make about everybody's point. So many of you have gone and so many shots have been taken that I don't remember anything that any of you said.
Time makes
glad that you did the count for me, Jeff, because I didn't know that it was time. But the answer to my question, I have to give the answer first because that's how this show works. The answer to my question is yes. This movie does.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right. Now,
all right.
Now let me tell you guys something. Now,
defend yourself.
I'm gonna tell you something. Now. I'm not gonna have to defend myself too much. But first off, my first critique is all of y'all giving your answers. Let me tell you something, man. You say it with your chest. You know what I'm saying? Everything you say is God right here. You know what I'm saying? It's the word. It's the scripture. This is the scripture of movies because it goes down into the universe and out into outer space for eternity. This is the book of Eli. Google/YouTube. So anything we say here, it goes. God damn it. Okay, and it does hold up, man. I can't tell you how many times I've seen this movie. Okay, I've watched this movie through all of the last decades that it came out. Like I've seen it at least 3 times in all the decades.
So one per decade?
Yeah, exactly.
It's an anniversary every 10 years.
10 years.
He's trying to mimic the.
I said I watch it at least.
Trying to mimic the
times.
eclipse. It's like
it's just gonna live forever, man. But this is for the people who watch it in the future, man. Check it out. Check it out, man. The movie, especially as a horror movie, this goes down.
Ooh.
Horror movies are usually like ridiculously corny and campy, and they don't have any original thought. They don't really, have any development in any of the characters. This had all of that. And if it came out today, you'd be like, it'd be a breath of fresh air from all the bullshit that we get and the remakes that we get. And that's why I think it would hold up, because we're basing it on the fact that this movie didn't ever come out before, and then it came out today. The score was really good, and as a music guy and a sound design guy, everything about this movie was great. The sound design was particularly great because we already mentioned how the monsters sounded, and we watched that one scene where the archaeological was it white man?
Right. Paris.
Where the Jets.
My MVP.
Right.
You guys didn't give your MVPs, by the way, but
I will
whatever.
give my MVP.
Ooh, can we do
that? My MVP. Excuse me. My MVP was the bounty hunter. He was
Johns.
He gave the best performance to me.
I like the conflict.
Cole Hauser.
Yeah,
I like the conflict,
and because Cole Hauser really did he really was a good person. Right?
Yeah, he does not look like
here,
that.
he looks like the guy from right here. He
That's how it looks nowadays.
Clear. So how many photos are you
real quick
downloading from
real
the
quick.
internet?
So
hold on,
Bill, especially, I think you'll like this. I think the rest of us will too. But Bill,
say it with a Trump. Say it with a Trump accent, and he'll love it even more.
No, I'm not going to do that. But I will say it with my chest. That scene where Johns is taking the drugs in his eye.
I was just going to say
that was actually Cole's call.
He did that for real. Yeah, he did that for real.
You know why though?
It wasn't supposed to be like, it was originally supposed to be like, normal taking drugs. But Cole's like, no, it's the future. Let's do it in the eye.
Yeah.
Not only was it the future, he studied.
Go ahead.
He studied with people who were actual opioid addicts, and they would this was a point where they would take it, and he was like, yeah, I can do this, and the director was like, don't please, and even the producer was like, please don't do that, and he's like, nah, I got you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do that.
All you guys just did is explain why Cole Hauser didn't have another job after Fast and the Furious until Yellowstone because he was a fucking drug addict. All he did in the future was create a different. He wanted to promote his way of doing drugs.
That's meth head acting.
No. Right. Because here's my thing. I do not think of Pitch Black as a horror movie, but of all the horror aspects, that close up of the fucking eye was one of the closest horror aspects of the movie to me.
Yeah,
well, I thought it had all of the aspects of horror. We can debate that on our podcast, Drunk Panthers podcast, if you want to.
God damn it, Bill! I'll join you.
Horror versus Pitch Black. But I thought it had all of the elements of a horror movie. I never thought it was a horror movie before this, and that's why I paid attention to that specifically. But the sound design specifically was crazy because there are no monsters on Earth that make the noises that these animals were making. And we just saw in the Frenchie scene that it just hits different. Like he's whispering, it hits like at a very low level, and then it takes you to that moment. Like the flames sound so big, and you can go through the whole movie and do the same thing. Takes you away from a lot of things that, like you mentioned, were ambitious about the movie, but at the same time, it puts you it makes you not realize those parts, but at the same time it immerses you into the film a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I'm just trying to tell you, nigga, you wrong.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You definitely are wrong.
Me.
It does hold up.
Bill.
What?
I usually am.
Oh, no. I was talking to him, but yes, you are wrong.
Both of you guys.
Both are wrong.
Well, that's the vote. It's 3-2. What's it called?
I'm so sorry, Alex.
Pitch Black.
I think that's literally the 77%.
It's an official C student of cinema. But before we get out of here, guys, Jeff, where can the people find you on the interwebs?
Oh, God, don't even try. I don't know. Jeff Madel on Facebook, Madel Jeff on Instagram. The best way is to try and Skype with me. It's Don Cheadle's driveway at littledickie2.com. It's because of hackers, guys. But seriously, the way you can most likely find me is just by checking out 9 Nerd Yards on YouTube and listening to a guy who doesn't know what the shit he's talking about try and sound real professional.
Well, that seems like a really shady segue over to Blake. Where can the people find you?
I don't even sound relevant anymore. Like nothing, no advice that I'm gonna give or no critiques that I'm gonna give are gonna matter anymore. So you probably will be able to find me for a limited time offer on 9 Nerd Yards. And if you guys are watching this, it's October season, folks. So I may be few and far between found because I'll be having a child.
That's right. About a month from now, huh?
Yeah, and about a month from now. So we're recording all these like I'm Tupac, and we're trying to get all the albums in before I'm out for a few months. So just send some love. Money Blakeweather, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. Or you could follow my podcast, Unfiltered Bachelor, where we will be doing a follow-up episode to, at this point, it probably will be released as you guys are watching this with my friend Christina Foltz, who has new updates on her case about the whole
new update.
This is so good.
I've got to wait that long.
Yo,
yeah.
You gotta look. If you need me to come with the camera crew and get this on the documentos, and we can get it to Netflix. If you need me to do that, man, we can come down there and do that. Or we can talk to the sheriff down there. We can get everything squared away. You know what I'm talking about?
I'll tell you what.
Bill,
documentary.
I'm
if
serious
you didn't
now.
listen to the first episode,
I'm sorry. I can bring a whole camera crew down there now.
Come on now.
I mean,
don't be
what
shy
would that
now.
what would that Nancy Drew bitch do?
What would that Nancy Drew bitch do? What you saying, Jeff?
Honestly, like,
saying, Jeff?
I'm just saying, man. If you didn't watch the first episode,
Oh, I did.
okay,
I did.
so you get like this is like a camera crew is absolutely warranted for this shit.
Oh, I know. I'm talking about it. But we gonna talk about making money later. Blake, did you have any other things?
I fucking love you guys.
Nah, man, that's it. Unfiltered Bachelor. Y'all can follow me or Money Blakeweather, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. And y'all can follow the podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, or any podcast platform where you guys are on. That's where the show is. Also, keep following 9 Yards. We're breaking down stuff every week.
Yes.
Check out the Jurassic Park stuff that we're doing. It's incredible. So yeah, stay tuned for everything else we're doing. And we'll be coming forward with y'all. Hopefully with John's has it up right now, but hopefully we're doing Surf Ninjas by the time this comes out.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm literally I don't give a shit about that. I'm reading the back.
It's like, this is just what I do in my spare time.
Nice.
I'm just very excited.
But yeah,
about
you
this
guys
movie.
should definitely check out the Unfiltered Bachelors podcast. It's awesome. I've been listening to older episodes where you guys covered like season 3 of Atlanta. Like it's a great podcast. You guys should check it out. Links in the description. And we'll close it out.
Well, you gotta ask 9.
Yeah, that's what I was about to do.
About to do that.
You said close it out. Well, you said close it out, so I was like, what?
All right, let's close it out right now. Not ask anyone else anything else. End it.
No one else is here. But no,
Okay.
9. Tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, it's 9 Yards, and you can find me on YouTube, probably hanging out with the Drunk Banthas and the rest of the 9 Yard gang. That's including John's, Jeff, that is including Money Blakeweather. When again, few and far between. Congratulations on the baby, by the way. I am so happy that you are deciding to name your baby 9. That's crazy. That is super insane. But yeah, it's 9 Yards on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all of the socials. And yeah, thank you so much for having me back on. Can't wait to do it again.
Yes.
Of course, man. It's always a
Thank
pleasure
you very
having
much.
the 9 Yards family on. Yeah, you guys check out the YouTube channel. There's awesome breakdowns of like Atlanta, Swarm. They cloned Tyrone. They did a great stream there. I'm not just saying that because I was on there. But no, it was a lot of fun. And honestly, it's
another
really
3-hour stream.
Yeah,
I'm
3
so
hours.
sorry. That was my bad.
You guys definitely go check that out. Go to Drunk Panthers channel and subscribe right down. Click right down there. You know what I'm saying? We got new shows like the podcast. Go check out The Warrior. Go check out Ahsoka. Go check out what is the other one?
Futurama.
Futurama. Go check out Futurama. Go check out everything that we go do because we do
The Righteous Gemstones too. That show was fire.
Oh yeah, Righteous Gemstones.
The Barbieheimer and also the Idol breakdowns are
Check out
or some of my recent recommendations.
I'm sorry.
Probably not for October, but
9. How are you skipping out on Alex's Mutant Mayhem?
haven't seen it yet. Sorry.
Well, you know, guys,
I cannot recommend.
check it out. All of the ones that we do because we do it for you. You know what I'm saying? It's free. Click right down there. You know, do it for me because otherwise YouTube will not give me my children back from state custody.
It's very true. It's a very complicated clause. It might be illegal. We're looking into it. Alex Jones says he has the documents to prove that is not.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
We do got
He's
a
our
documents
lawyer.
prove that Bill might not. We're not. We can't talk about it legally right now. But what
You
we
did
do
this
know,
to yourself.
what we
He's
do
our
know
lawyer.
is,
I have to legally have him on.
We can. Drunk Panthers can talk about this a little bit. That's all I'm saying.
When they ask drunk for the Drunk Panthers legal team, this is who we transfer them to.
This is actually the plot of Pitch White.
You 9. You read my journal?
Pitch White is what they call the American.
Your manuscript was way too long.
For American history. Pitch White.
Welcome to a planet where white people just attack during the daylight. That's what the movie's about.
Alex,
thank
do me a favor
guys.
and take us out of here, man.
Sure.
Please.
Thank you guys for watching the show. New episodes drop every Monday at 4:20 a.m. Check us out on social media platforms at The Drunk Banthas. Please like and subscribe. It is not required, but if you don't, you will not be invited to the cookout. We will see you in a couple of weeks. Peace.